Hey, what's good?
Hey.
What's going on?
Hello, gamer.
Hello, gamer. What's up?
Hello.
I before we start today, I want to test something real quick. Chat, you can hear Crown now, right? But how about now? Now can you hear Crown, or do you hear nothing? Say something, Crown.
What if I just didn't talk?
Like, yeah, that'd be fucked. That'd be fucked.
That'd be hilarious, actually.
Chat, can you hear Crown? Nothing. Perfect. Actually, that's perfect. That's perfect. I want Crown to scream into the void. You know what I mean? I just think it'd be really funny if he did that. Okay, give me a sec. So what if we did this? All right, now say something, Crown.
What if I do this?
What if I do say something? Now can you hear Crown? Yarp, he's back. I can hear him. Cool, awesome. Okay, good. Oh, great. Okay, I'm
what are you doing to me?
I'm doing some wacky audio engineering right now, dude. I'm doing something crazy. I think I just figured it out. I think I just learned today. You know, I think I just learned everything, you know, about what needs to be done. So yeah, don't worry about it. It's a behind the scenes thing. I was just trying to adjust it, all that shit. So
Psycho.
I know. I'm going crazy. I'm losing my freaking mind here, dude. The wackiest stuff. I mean, it's just gonna be completely crazy. Yeah. So, anyways, sorry about that. Sorry for my unhinged.
You better apologize.
Yeah, you better fucking say something. Yeah. So the desktop audio is capturing all that. Yeah. That's good. That's good. I think that's good. I think. Now I'm curious if. No, it should still record, right? Yeah. There's the weird like level system, right, with like the tracks and stuff like that. Because I know on Twitch you can make it so that when you're streaming you can like play copyright music, but then it doesn't show up on the VOD.
I don't know how the hell to do that.
I don't know how to do that either. But the theory is, since this is all every fucking time, I keep messing up the loop. Every time we start this thing, I keep messing up the music loop. It goes back to the pre-show because I'm an old man and I'm starting to get a little funky with my tech. You know what I mean? I'm trying to. Yeah, listen, with the audio recording right now, chat, I'm just trying to figure out how to get the audio levels there so that it's easier for me when I export to the Patreon. And then when I export to the Patreon, it's just super fucking easy. So, but if you guys see that I accidentally muted the VOD and you're just hearing me and you're not hearing Crowned or the music, I fucked up and learned something new today. And then I'll make sure once it gets on YouTube, I'll just put the recording there and then we should be good to go. I'll tell you right now. But I'm doing like 20 different things right now, okay? And I know
I love the young people.
Look, I'm not right. I don't mean like right now, but I mean just in general. It's just every time I'm told what, you know, like, oh, it's good to learn a new skill. I'm like, I don't got the brain space anymore, man. I don't think that's gonna happen for me anymore. I think I'm at capacity is what I'm trying to say.
Oh my God.
I think there's just nothing. I'm at capacity, man. You turn 40, and there's nothing more you can put in the brain. I want to say it's there is that point in your life, right, where like where technology has advanced beyond you. Like, you are no longer part of the tech race. You know what I mean? Like, when, you know how, like, you have that grandparent and you're like, this is a cell phone. And they're like, I don't know how that works. And you're just like, it's so easy. How do you not know? Like, Grandma, how do you not know how a computer works? Like, it's the easiest fucking thing in the world. Yeah. Go on. Go on. You got a thought. I see you got a thought. What's your thought?
Well, okay.
Go on. Yeah. Go on.
So my nana knew how to use cell phones and
right.
Um,
Why? Okay, first of all, let's start with this. Why are you hesitating? What's the hesitation?
how real do we want to get?
I
How
mean,
real can we get on this podcast?
I mean, we could get real, I suppose, as long as we're not going to get
Hesitation.
in trouble.
Hesitation.
Well, no, it's like, I mean, we're already there. We've talked, you know, it's you might as well. You might. Is there any sort of warnings or anything like that the people should know about? It's sad.
It's sad.
I mean,
it's sad. That's it, though.
Well, usually with the elderly, you know, when we're starting to hesitate, it usually is something sad. No, I mean, go on. What do you want to? What happened?
Like my nana. A lot of here's the first thing. Let me lay it out.
Lay it out
so that way everybody knows, right?
Lay it out.
All of my grandparents died super young. Like
how young? How young?
They
we
died
talking?
in their 60s.
Oh, that is young.
Very young.
Yeah.
So when I knew my nana knew how to use a laptop, knew how to use a phone. She was the one who taught me how to use a cell phone.
That's crazy.
I lived with her for a bulk. I lived with my grandparents, my nana and my papa, for a bulk of my life. And they both they were both truckers. When they were younger, they were bikers. So they were like all on technology. I think the only people that I've met in my life who have had trouble with technology have been people who didn't grow up around it. Like I think my stepdad didn't really grow up around it. Like he grew up in like sort of like a rural household in Florida type deal. So like when I was like a teen, and I had my mom gave me her laptop for like what was it, like when I was in like 6th grade or something like that, or like gave me like her first like MacBook basically. I knew how to use that better than my stepdad, who was like still like pecking at the keyboard on his like desktop that he had for work. So yeah, like all the old people I knew how to use technology better than I did until like I got like a teen, and then a teen I was using technology for the bulk of my life.
You were the tech. Yeah.
I'm no like fucking tech savant today, right? Like Momo says something about a computer, my eyes glaze over because all I need to know is how much space is on the computer, like how many games can I hold on the SSD I bought, and is it like what's a gigabyte? Like that's what I know. When my friends start talking about like, oh yeah, hertz, refresh rates, all this shit, I go, what the fuck are you talking about? The screen always does this. Like,
I mean, that is true. I do feel like when it comes to like the tech side of like the streaming world, you have a little bit of a struggle with it, because it is a new set of skills. Like you gotta be good with a little bit of like audio engineering with your soundboards and stuff, and you know you've got to make sure the tech is correct and know how the tech works when it comes to like streaming. It's a lot more than just, you know, turn on and start. So I get that because there is a bit of a learning curve with that as well that I tend to struggle with as well.
And mind you, like, it's weird because I don't know that much about computers, but when I start talking about streaming and stuff like that, and I'm talking to my friends, I'm like, yeah, well, you know, it's kind of to be expected. We're in Q1, so right now ad revenue's down, and they're listening to me talk, and I'm pulling up statistics from my YouTube, and I'm showing the dips, and they're like, what the fuck are you saying?
Talking? Yep.
And I'm like, what do you mean?
Well, I also feel like when your survival depends on it, you tend to like learn real quick out of survival's sake as well. Like you're like, I really don't have a choice but to learn this.
I have to learn how metrics work now.
Yep, exactly.
I didn't go to college for this, but my
Same.
job is dictating me to learn the funny numbers.
Make sure the bit rate's good. And you're like, what's a good bit rate? Well,
yeah, what's the refresh rate on my stream?
Oh,
right
well,
now?
about 6K on Twitch, but you can go up to 40K on YouTube. And you're like, what the fuck?
What?
Which is also, like, side tangent, super fucking weird that Twitch, the streaming platform, is limited to 1080p streaming, and YouTube is like, yeah, 4K, man.
4K, get in here.
Get in, gamers. And I'm just
I want to
like,
see every pore on your face.
look, man. It's just interesting to me. Is all I'm saying. It's just how we've divvied up the tech, you know. Anyways, like, yeah, continue.
No, like that's like the my mother also passed when she was incredibly young. Was like a fucking tech genius. Like she was like the first person I ever knew in my life who had like a full home PC setup.
Oh wow.
Like I remember coming home from school and she had come to like stay with my nana and papa. And I remember seeing her like this, like it was like a mountain almost when I was like a kid. This, like she had like her full desk set up and this tower that was huge. She had like the mouse that had the weird ball in the center of it. Right. That you, instead of using your mouse to move, you moved the ball to move the cursor. I thought that was like, I thought it was like space tech, basically. Yeah. She had like this weird, like split ergonomic keyboard that was like the keys weren't fully together, like they were split apart on both sides.
I know everything you're talking about, and that's tech that I couldn't get used to. That's the shit that I can't get comfortable with. Yeah. Like you got.
It only got like more. Like as we advanced technology, I remember like again, she handed me her MacBook. She was like, "Here you go." It was like the first gen MacBook or whatever, like the first MacBook laptop, like the all white one, and I remember she handed me that because she got the better version afterwards, and she was like, "Here you go, you can use it for like schoolwork." I immediately downloaded RuneScape.
Oh man,
ruined my life forever.
And here I am today, the RuneScape streamer.
That's right. Like I remember that's like when MySpace was coming out. So I was like, I had like a MySpace when I was like fucking like 12.
Yeah. Oh no. That was also before like the dangers of social media.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. Like there was never a moment I think where my mom needed to sit me down and be like, "There's predators on the internet."
Well, yeah, because I mean, I was an adult when MySpace did come out, and it was just like, oh, what's this? Oh, that's kind of neat, and then Facebook, and then here we are, our society devolved.
Yeah. Man, where's Tom? I need my friend back.
I thought you were talking about Mr. Fox, Tom Fox. I was like, what's Tom Fox gonna? Oh yeah, I remember.
I'm talking about MySpace.
I remember MySpace, Tom. Oh geez. Oh my God. There, someone actually made an add-on recently, or a rapper, I think it's called, Blue Sky, that made it look like MySpace.
Holy shit! Nice.
I was like, hell yeah.
We need to go back to the day where you can like customize the like, was it the CSS or whatever of your profile, and basically like basically have the like super early 2000s like edgy like home space screen where like Evanescence or Skillet or something's playing in the background when you load into somebody's profile.
You are taking me back, dude.
The blurb on their text today is like, "The sky rained. I hate my life." Like shit like that. That's how society will heal. Like
are emo kids still a thing
I don't know, man.
In this generation?
I think the thing I hate the most. Actually, I saw a video about it recently. There was this bit where this like older sister came in and she's talking to her mom, and she's like, "Mom, what the fuck is she wearing?" And she's gesturing to her younger sister, like basically like 4 kids down type deal, like Like she's like in her like late 20s and this kid's like 16 or something like that. And she's like, what the fuck is she wearing, Mom? Like, you're letting her leave in this shit? When I was her age, you had me in like capris and like long t-shirts and shit like that. And she gestures to her sister, and her sister is wearing like some crop top with like lace, and she's wearing like booty shorts or something like that. And she's like, what the fuck is this, Mom? Like, why were you beating my ass when I was wearing like a crop top shirt, but she gets to wear this or worse? And her mom's like, time's different, kids are different. I was like, I don't like that.
I think it's more Bob's just tired. Is it 4 kids down? Mom's like, hi.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, 3 of them already survived. You're gonna be okay. Whatever. Just
oh my god, like it's the
fucking go. Yeah.
Like it's the early like 1800s. Like 3 kids survived. The generation will live on.
Yeah, not saying like if she dies, she dies. I'm just saying like, you know, I worried about you kids and nothing came out of it. So
polio didn't take you.
Yeah,
whatever.
She'll be fine. Also, I'm tired. Like I'm very. Could you? I mean,
leave me alone.
I mean, could you imagine being just? I don't know if you've ever thought about children or wanting children or anything like that, but can you imagine raising a kid for 18 years and just going through it? Like every couple of years, the strategy changes because you're dealing with a completely different individual. It's easy when you're like crawling around, cleaning after them and making sure they, you know, you're feeding them. But now they become more independent. You still got to make sure they survive so the government doesn't fucking, you know, arrest you for child abuse. And then, so now you're in elementary school. And you're like, okay, you know, and the kid's going through shit, and you know, wants to, I want to play on Xbox. You're like, gotta do your homework. You're like, I hate you. And you're like, man, it was so much easier when you weren't saying shit, you know. And then middle school, and now it's like puberty and shit. Now you gotta deal with all that. They're asking questions. You're like, oh man, I don't know how the hell do I answer this? Because if I answer this the wrong way, you're gonna be fucked up forever. So I have to like, and it is. And I feel like childhood specifically, when you're raising a kid, there's just so many times where if you take the wrong step, fucked up forever, completely fucked up forever for the rest of their life. And that's gotta be on you. And then
you did it. It's all your fault.
And then high school comes around. Now they think they're an adult, and you're just like, no, you're not an adult. No. And then they start getting, you know, and now you can't even help them with their homework anymore because, you know, they changed math on you. Remember when math was basic? God. I don't know what the fuck this new math is.
I remember having that exact moment. Yeah. So I lived with my parents I didn't really live with my mom for like the bulk of my life, right? Like I lived with like my grandparents, and then I eventually moved in with my mom when my mom got married with my stepdad. He was in the Air Force. We moved around a bunch. So when I did live with them was when I remember it was the last time I had asked my parents for help with math. I think I was in like algebra 1 or something like that. My freshman year was like the last time I lived with my parents. And I remember like sitting my stepdad down and being like, help me with this.
Yeah.
And him being like, you got it, champ. And I remember him pulling the paper across and he looking at it and he goes, ooh, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, what do you mean?
Sorry.
And this is a dude who does like, he works on like jet planes. Like he works on like actual aircraft. And he's looking at this and he's like scratching his chin and he's looking at this and he's like, is this like calculus or something? And I was like, no, man, it's like algebra 1. And he's like, what the fuck? And he's like, I remember him trying to do it. And he pulls out a calculator and he's answering the first question. And then he's like, all right, I got it. And he hands it back to me. And I look at it and I start doing the calculations how my teacher taught me. And I was like, I got like a 15. And he's like, what? How the fuck did you get a 15? And I was like, listen, man, here's the calculator. This is how the teacher taught me. And he, like, it was in this moment, this realization dawned upon him. And he was like, I can't help you with your homework.
Yeah,
go ask your mom.
I'm sorry, bud. You're on your own. I don't know what to tell you about this.
I knew from that moment forward that my parents could not help me with my fucking homework.
Yeah. That's terrifying, isn't it? When you grow up and your parents know everything, and then there comes that moment where, you know, your parent does something or says something or just admits to themselves, they're like, I don't know, man, you're on your own. And you just kind of squint and look at them, and you're like, you're making this up. You've been bullshitting me the entire. You don't know shit.
That's when you find out. That's when you find out that they're just kids with money.
Yeah. You're like, holy shit. Have you been winging it the entire time? They're like, I don't know what to tell you, man. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, the world comes crumbling down.
Yeah. There is.
You're like, oh my god, you've just been fucking pretending. And they go,
Jesus.
I've been pretending since I was around 16.
Yeah.
And you go, oh my god,
holy
you're like 32.
Oh shit, is that just what life is? Is just fake it till you make it? And you're like, yeah, man. And you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna get my shit together. What do you mean?
They shake their head. They shake their head. And they go,
Never. You never get your shit together.
All that's gonna happen is that you're gonna pay taxes.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you're going to be dealing the shit you're dealing with in high school. I hope you're ready for that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Because you're going to go work at a workplace.
Yep.
And you're going to think, my God, I'm 28. And somehow it still feels like I'm in high school.
Yeah.
Dealing with petty ass teenagers.
I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And it especially in this industry, it very much is like, oh my God. Does no one grow up? Have I not grown up? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. It's not good. It's a very terrifying realization.
So I will say I had a bit of a different experience where like I remember getting out of the Navy and I remember moving in with my roommate, a man whom I would consider my brother.
Yes.
The brother I never had.
Yes.
Who I met in a video game, by the way.
Yeah.
Like by the way, if anybody ever tells you that your friends that you make on the internet aren't real, that person is a cold, lonely person.
That person's
needs
80 years old
in their life
and doesn't realize what the all. Well, because in the 90s, when the internet came out, there was like this point where everyone was like, everyone online is trying to kill you. You know, you were supposed to be very cautious and I mean, I guess we are now, but we're not. It's not so fear mongering anymore. You know, it's just more like, yeah, just not gonna say XYZ. I'm not gonna give locations out. You know, that's just the way it is. You know. But anyways, yeah, continue.
I remember moving to Oregon and like hanging out, talking to like meeting locals and shit like that. And I remember there was this really pretty girl that I had met, and she was my age. Like she was literally like 1-4 with my age, class 13. We basically had like we just had like very different experiences after high school. I went and joined the Navy and she went to college. And I remember talking to her and we're talking about like her interests and we're talking like I'm getting to know her. And I realized as she's talking that we are entirely, completely different people.
Yes.
And her stories were so fucking boring because it was just college stories. And I realized that I had basically lived more or less an entire life already, and that I couldn't relate to the people that were my age.
Totally.
Like now that I'm 30, I have like a whole different breadth of like like the my peers whom are 30 I can relate to far more. But when I was like early 20s and I was listening to people talk, I was kind of like, I don't like you. Like you're still like, I feel like I'm talking to a child.
Yeah.
And it was a really kind of thing that fucked me up for a while. Was like, I feel like I don't feel like I can relate to you. And I realized, because it's something that I've done my entire life. A lot of my friends, for the bulk of my life, I can't say it now because again, I'm 30, but
right.
For the bulk of my life, from my when I was like 18 all the way up, all of my friends, and I mean all of my friends, aside from when I was in high school, were old. Like these were people who were already 30 when I was like 18 type shit. Like I was hanging around a lot of old people. And it was just the way that it was just the people that I hung out with. Yeah. And I related to those people more. And it was crazy. Same. Like once I got out of high school, I didn't want to hang out with the people that were my age. I was always hanging out with all the old people. Yeah. I always got told for like the bulk of my life, you have an old soul. You're very mature for your age. You are a very old soul. Very much. For a while, I was like, what does that mean?
And then you got it. You understood.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. And then it was that moment I was talking to her and I realized, I went, oh.
And then she starts complaining about the lunch menu, and then
it was something very close. She was complaining about her math homework.
Oh God.
And I felt this sort of like cold sensation wash over me.
Of and just I went, such disinterest.
Yeah, I was like, I don't care. I don't. Yeah, it was basically like, I don't give a shit. But
yeah,
like, I didn't say it. I mean, like we finished talking.
You're like
very cordial.
Your mind is just like, this conversation's gonna end. Correct. And then I'm gonna go somewhere.
Correct.
And then I'm never gonna talk to you again. I'm sure she's a lovely person. I'm not. No slight against this individual.
I'm sure she was great. It was just the only thing that she could talk about. Like we were talking about stories.
It's the only thing she knows. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I watched a guy die when I was like, she was like, what's your most fucked up story? And I was like, well, I watched a guy die. Like, and she was like, oh my God. And I was like, what's your most fucked up story? And she's like, I think I got too drunk at a party once. And I was like, oh. That was my every weekend. Like,
oh my God.
That's it? Like,
wow. Yeah, you could two have lived completely separate lives.
It was fucking crazy. And I just realized, like, I went back to my roommate and I was like, I don't think I can talk to people, because my roommate was like 10 years older than me. And my roommate had this like knowing look, like this like slow, sagely nod where he's like, I get it. Yeah, I understand.
I mean, that's same. You know, it's just like kind of being in that, sort of in this, you know what I mean? Like in this industry, everyone I talk to is younger than me, which fucking sucks at times. It does. Sometimes it sucks at times because I'm just like, you know, have I become emotionally stunted because of the 20 and 30-year-olds I interact with on a weekly basis? You know what I mean? Like it gets to a point where you're just like, God, especially hitting 40 and like, because when you're in your 30s, you're like, yeah, I'm still with it. But then the moment that tick, you're like, you look around, you're like, I think I'm by myself. And here's because it's like, also because everyone wants to like, you know, go do conventions and do the con parties and stuff. And on those days are behind me. I have no interest in that. And, you know, and like, and then just doing all these like just different young stuff essentially. And I'm just like, you know, or like, or like, you know, like Twitch collaborations with like 16 people. And I'm like, no. I don't want to do that. Or Twitch collaborations with people who kind of turn things into a bit, you know, and it's just not really a genuine experience to me. And I'm just like, no, I just, you know, and it to me, it's it almost feels like a very lonely experience, because I'm like, man, you know, I don't go out and do this shit. I don't, you know, do stuff with everyone else, and I just kind of stay on my lonesome. And, you know, man, I should probably be hanging out with people or making more of an effort. But then I have to recall, like, every time I make an effort and I do it, I either don't like it or I don't really get anything out of it, you know?
I hate the experience.
Well, it kind of, you know, it's just kind of like, it just feels like the odd puzzle piece. So I go, okay, well, you are the 40 plus streamers that I know, you know, and I've got 3 people, you know, and one person I know very remotely, not at all, you know, and I'm like, well, what are they doing? You know, maybe I should hang out with them. No, I'm not going to hang out with them because I don't want to fucking bother them because I get it. I want to just.
I don't want to bother them is crazy.
I don't want to bother them specifically because if it were me in that shoe, I would also be like, ugh. That sounds tiring. Like, that sounds exhausting to me, you know? So, and
leave me alone.
Well, and then I'm like, well, what are they doing? You know, are they doing like the big, nope, none of them are partying. None of them are doing the big collabs. And all of them, with their streaming experience for the most part, stream by themselves and maybe occasionally with a friend or two. And I'm like, oh, maybe that's just the era I'm in, you know? Maybe it literally is just like, man, maybe I just want to, maybe I'm just tired and I enjoy just kind of relaxing a little bit and not doing the whole, like, I gotta be friends with everyone. I gotta be doing shit with everyone. I gotta be blah, 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 blah. And it is, because I always think to myself, I'm like, man, why am I not doing stuff with more people? Why aren't people invited? And I'm like, because I'm not actively trying anymore. I'm not actively interested. And that's what it is. You know, I like, you know, spending time with my partner, and I like doing nothing. That's when I retire. That's the one thing I'm excited for. No responsibility.
So here's the thing.
Well, hold on. Let me rephrase that, because I see where you're jumping to. Where I'm just like, and then I go, oh man, like I'm sitting there and I just don't do anything, and then I'm just bored. And no. What I mean by that is, I'm looking forward to the day where I don't have to do anything. And what I mean by that is, if we like, hey, let's go on a vacation. Let's travel. What's going on in this state that we've never been to? They're like, hey, let's drive down to Disney, and I got nothing. So it would be filling with stuff that you aren't required to do. Does that make sense? Like it's filling your time meaningfully, but not so. It's hard to explain, but you get what I'm saying. Like, there's things you have to do because you've got a responsibility and you've got bills to pay and et cetera, et cetera. But what I'm saying is, I would love to get to the point where I don't have to do that, and I could just do whatever, whenever. And if there is a day that comes where I'm like, I don't want to do anything, okay, then guess what? We're doing nothing today. And if that feels good, then who knows? Maybe I'll do nothing tomorrow. You know what I mean? But then there'll be times where it's like, you know, hey, maybe I want to drive around or go visit a site, or, you know, plan a vacation, or, you know, maybe I want to buy a camper and then just fucking go. You know what I mean? Sky's the limit. Nothing's stopping you. You don't have a responsibility being like, yeah, but you got to be back, because if you're not streaming, then people forget, you know, or like if you're not making content, you're not making money, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm looking forward to.
So here's my thing. My big point was being like, because I've met people who are like, God, I can't wait to retire, and they're workaholics.
Oh, don't say that. Oh,
like,
no.
I can't wait to retire. And they're the person I know without a shadow of a doubt is going to be the motherfucker who loses their mind.
Oh, I'm worried
when they retire
now.
And they sit down and they go, I've done it. And then their brain goes, Well, okay. So let me give you the side thing there. I think being a workaholic, which I clearly am, it's a good thing. I think being a workaholic is a good thing.
No, it's a lot you have to fucking manage. I'm definitely not saying that. But what I'm saying is, without the need for financial responsibilities and et cetera, as a workaholic, I feel like you can put that energy into things more meaningful. Like, so for example, I kind of have fallen in love with the idea of Masay and I having like a like an animal sanctuary of some kind, and like managing that, you know, and learning what it is about that, and rescuing some animals, and you know, and putting my energy, my workaholic energy into something more charitable. You know what I mean? Where like the focus is not to make money, but to do good. And then, so I feel like you can absolutely do. I would love a bird sanctuary. I would love, honestly, I would love a fox sanctuary. I think that'd be fucking sick as hell. Yeah, I think
screaming nonstop.
I mean, we got foxes in our backyards that we see all the time, and I'm just like, I fucking love those little fox. You know what I mean? Like those things. It's a different set of foxes every year. Sometimes it's like 5 or 6 foxes just fucking running around the back. I'm like, there was one year where we had like 6 or 7 foxes running around in the background, and they're just playing with each other. It's a whole family. And I actually had to pause for a second and literally be like, this might be too many foxes. Like, should we do something about this? Like,
I thought you were about to get hit by some whimsy. Like you were like, you felt this like feeling you've never felt before. No, looking at like a gaggle of foxes.
No, there were so many foxes. I'm just like, okay, there's gonna be a point where like I'm gonna walk out and they're like, wait, we outnumbered this guy. You know? Like,
kill that fucking guy.
Yeah, get in quick. You know, so. But anyways, that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is like, or you know, maybe get a farm, and just do that. Spend my time doing that. I don't know, just figuring that shit out. I mean, I don't think you could ever be idle, right? Like especially as a workaholic, I feel like you can't be idle. And I'm absolutely a workaholic. I've had everyone under the sun tell me I work too much, and I feel this ping of guilt, right? That I'm just letting people down because of the fact that I've submitted to my workaholic ways. Well, it is. It's just like I've had like Strippin tell me like you're gonna burn out, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, you know. And I wished Jesse Cox a Merry Thanksgiving at one time. It's like, Happy Thanksgiving. Take a fucking break. And I'm just like, everyone's yelling at me, you know, and I know it comes from, I've had you yell at me. Literally the other day.
I give a thumbs up.
You literally screamed at me and said, you know, take a week off. I'm like, can't do it.
Literally, take a week off.
Can't do it. No, I mean, I'll take 5 days off in summer, and I'll take 5 days off during fall, and you know, I'll do all that, and you know, I'll probably be moving this year anyway. So like, I got days off ready to go. It'll be fine. I think interesting thing about being a workaholic is how to manage that without burning out. That's the fun part. You know what I mean? That's the real fun part.
I can tell you how I do it right now.
You sleep?
Because I'm definitely a workaholic. It was something that this year I wanted to tackle. And I've realized that the way that I have to do it is I have to like break up the stuff I want to do in chunks.
Yeah.
To make it easier to manage. So I can't all in on like one thing, or else I feel guilty that I'm not doing something else.
Oh yeah.
So like if I all in on like map making or game creation, I immediately start distancing myself from my friends because it's all I want to do. My friends are like, let's go watch a movie, and I'm like, gotta work. They're busy. Like, let's go. Like that was a big thing. Like Momo was doing like movie nights and stuff. And I realized after a while that she was asking me to come out and like hang out and do stuff, and my excuse every time was that I'm working on something. Like I'm working on D&D, I'm working on Pathfinder, I'm working on X blah 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 blah.
Right.
And I realized that kind of puts like a strain on relationships.
Oh, it does.
And the way I've sort of been managing it now is that I'll work on things in chunks. So like I'll do something that I need to work on in the day, and then I'll swap over and I'll go play like games or something with friends, or I'll go hang out with friends, or like make sure I get better at like, I'm really bad at, like my friends will tell you I'm really bad with DMs. because there's some part of my brain where I'll be doing something and I get a message and I'm like, I'll reply to that.
Mhm.
And then I'll go back to doing the thing that I was doing because my brain is immediately on the thing that I'm doing. So I've been working at getting like everything sort of moved back into chunks, so that way I can actually like spend time with my friends and work. And I think so far
Pretty good.
it's been pretty good. Been able to hang out with my friends again. Sort of like slowly integrate myself back into their lives so that way they don't forget about me.
Yep.
And also get my work done.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of where I was at, because I think I told like 3 or 4 different people, like, hey, let's play Monster Hunter together. And everyone's like, yeah, let's do it. And, you know, if you don't reach out to people with like streamers and stuff like that, you'll never hear anything back, because no one wants to talk to each other. Not saying everyone hates each other, but just nobody is interested in talking, essentially. Like, everyone is no one. Okay, let me rephrase that. Nobody wants to reach out. People will talk if they have the time and have the opportunity, but nobody wants to be the one to reach out. That makes sense?
Interesting.
Nobody. I as someone who is typically the only person to reach out to people, and I've talked to Masay about this, where I'm like, I think everybody just hates me. You know, I'm just annoying everybody because I am the only one to initiate conversations and DMs and stuff like that. And she was like, it's not that. People don't reach out because nobody reaches out. Nobody has the initiative of reaching out to a person and then accidentally bothering them. Nope, nobody wants to do that. And I'm just like, oh, maybe that is the case, you know?
Rubs chin. Oh, maybe.
Well, I mean, it is, because it's like, people do not like reach out to me. Like, if someone reaches out to me, they need something. If nobody reaches out to me to be like, hey, how you doing? What's up? Blah, blah. Like, there is none of that. And honestly, if I think about it, if someone was doing that to me, there would be a point of me where, like, I'd almost feel obligated to respond, even if I didn't have the time to. You know what I mean? So like I kind of get it, you know, but it's this constant struggle of like, hey, are we just all isolated, or does everyone hate me? And obviously I'm assuming everybody doesn't hate me, because I run a bunch of
crazy
a D&D game.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine like fake pretending to like somebody and spending
for years,
several hours
for years,
like every week for years together?
Yeah,
that'd be
insane.
I would be fucking floored.
I hope that never happens to me, because then if that happened like one time, I'd be like, oh shit. And then I'd look at everyone, be like,
that's what I'm saying. It would cast doubt on like every relationship ever. I'd be ruined. I'd be ruined if somebody came to me and they're like, hey man, I never really liked you. Like, I just kind of hung out with you for whatever excuse they'd come up with.
I think that's
I think I'd have to kill that person. I think that's the only way I could cope with that, is I'd literally just have to kill that guy.
Yeah. I and then forget they had ever existed. It's the only way my other relationships will survive.
I had to hit him with the hey Paul, and then the axe comes down, and then I'm free. I go, oh, so everything's A-okay again.
Here's the weird thing is, I feel like that has happened to me one time. Like I have that feeling that did happen to me once upon a time. But the problem is, I can't remember. So I must have killed that guy. I totally forgot. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. So it must have been one of two things. It never happened. That's one. And then there's a good chance that's what it is. Or two, it hurt me at such a level that eventually my mind went, yeah, we're just not gonna worry about that anymore. Shoves it into a corner.
I've packed that away.
Yeah, because I can't remember. And I think also I think people go through a series of friendships and relationships throughout their lives, depending on what they're doing. So, you know, groups of people come and go all the time in your life. So, you know, I think that's also just a part of it as well, you know, and that might be why I can't remember, because that might have been a different lifetime ago, essentially, like a different, you know. Or I'm gonna go with your theory that the person was then murdered, and then I went never remember. Oh my god!
Theory. As I'm cleaning the axe. Theory.
Look, how fucked up would that be if like one day you like wake up and you totally remembered you murdered somebody, and you like your brain went into survival mode and locked that shit away to the point where like, and I'm talking like 10, 15, 20 years down the line, right?
Holy shit.
Like you just, you know, maybe it was shit you were dealing with for like the first few years, but then you somehow managed to start thinking about it a little less, you know what I mean? Until eventually the point you didn't think about it at all. And then your brain went, oh, okay. I think he's not really thinking about it, so we're just gonna suppress this memory and we're gonna lock it away and we're gonna make sure you never have to worry about it. And then 10, 20 years down the road, you wake up and you're like, holy shit, I actually like,
oh my god, I get some like Bay Harbor Butcher, like I get like a Dexter moment where like years pass, I wake up in a cold sweat, and I go, oh shit, the body. And I immediately become a completely different person.
Yeah, you're like, holy fuck, I totally forgot it. How insane would that be?
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
What if I told
you?
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I'm gonna say, what if like, and I'm gonna say, I'm talking about everyone. Like everyone, like think about it right now. What if you woke up and you realized like you killed someone 20 years ago? Like that is a legitimate thing. I know it's low percentage. That is a legitimate thing that could have happened to anyone ever. That could just happen, where you just wake up and go, holy fuck, I totally killed that guy, you know, like, or something else that we locked. That's insane. The human psyche, dude. It's terrifying.
So there is, I wonder, because that you could correlate that to like service members. Like my immediate thought was like a service member deployed overseas who was ordered to fire on a building or something like that.
Yeah.
And
I couldn't
maybe
even imagine
seeing something in their mind of like hitting like a civilian or whatever, and then immediately like distancing themselves from it while they're there, and then coming home and then immediately having that realization. Like that's kind of how that's what you're describing is kind of how I view PTSD.
Yeah. That's 100%. I know my grandfather was in Vietnam, for like, you know, full draft and everything like that. And was it Vietnam? Oh, I don't remember. It was some war. Was there?
There's also the Korean War.
I was going to say it might have been. It might have been the Korean War. It was either Vietnam or Korea, but I don't know what year. No, I don't think it would have been Vietnam. When was Korea? When was the Korean War?
I remember.
I would say it might have been. It might have been
fighting the Korean War.
It might have been. I think it was the Korean War, because I want to say that's what it was, and it definitely
1950 to 1953.
Okay, it actually, I think it was the Korean War, and because he was, oh god, he was super young, so if it was that, no. Yeah, he'd be in his 20s. So yeah, I think it was the Korean War. But yeah, that was stuff like you didn't ask about. You know, that was just not a topic he didn't want to talk about. And so that makes total sense, is because you're, you know, essentially being ordered to do things that you definitely wouldn't do otherwise, you know. So I get that. I absolutely get that. One thing I liked, I don't know if someone has it or not. I should have asked for it. We just sold my grandmother's house, and did the estate sale and everything. My grandfather had a hat. You know, had the army cap.
Yep.
And but inside the hat underneath the hat was a picture of my grandmother with a like a note that essentially was the sentiment of like, whoa, you got the wrong hat, soldier. You know, this hat belongs to you, so you know, like a little note, because I guess people would randomly grab hats all the time. But yeah, I remember that. It was something about that I found rather.
That's kind of cute.
Entertained by. Yeah. It was. We now have my grandfather's chair at my parents' house because it literally was the best fucking chair. He died in 2004. This chair is decades old, but it is a good fucking chair. Like,
it is built. That shit is. I'm telling you, man.
Yep.
Everything built like before 2000. That shit is.
Yep.
It is premium.
Yep.
That thing will last forever.
It's like this premium lazy boy, and it literally is like you sit in, and the chair just swallows you up, and then you will, if you sit on that chair long enough, fall asleep. There is just no ifs, ands, or buts. You will just fall asleep. And so,
hell yeah.
So when we were selling everything out of my grandmother's house, we still had the chair, and she would sleep on that chair all the time. And I was like, man, if I could have taken the chair, I would have taken the chair. And I was like, it's something about that chair. I was like, man, you don't want to get rid of that chair. So my parents grabbed the chair. I was like, yes, that's awesome. Someone took the chair, you know what I mean? Someone took the God's fucking chair.
This like custom lazy boy.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but like, and that chair looks new. That's the thing that drives me wild is like, oh, you must have gotten that chair like after Grandpa died, like 5-10 years ago. I was like, no, that was Grandpa's chair. I'm like, that was the fucking chair? Are you kidding me? And yeah,
that's right.
And I was like, that shit looks pristine, baby. God damn, and it functions so well. Ooh, man, why can't we?
My bones, so comfy.
Why can't we make shit like that? Well, I know we all know the answer to that, but I mean,
greed. Corporate greed.
Jeez.
We'll talk about corporate greed. Discord wants to sell Discord. The pieces of shit.
Oh yeah, shit.
Motherfuckers.
I totally forgot about that. I was like, maybe that's something we could talk about. What do they want? They want a IPO?
They're taking offers now. It was something they initially planned in 2021, and then basically held off, and then they just recently announced it again, which is something that my friends and I have been talking about anyways, that the reason Discord is such a piece of shit nowadays.
Oh yeah.
And that it has so many bullshit functions that basically nobody wants anymore. Is that they want to sell it.
Of course.
Is that they've hit the infinite growth phase of their life, and for some reason are like, we have to make infinite profit because avarice.
Yep.
Bury me like a fucking pharaoh with all of my money.
With my wealth.
Some fucking loser shit like that.
Kotaku reports, prepare for Discord to get way worse. The video game chat platform is reportedly exploring a Wall Street IPO. Discord has become a central artery for gaming. It's the default place for companies to build communities around their games and for the people who play them to hang out with one another, coordinating game sessions, or just shoot the shit about whatever's going on in life. It's one of the least crappy social media platforms out there right now. True. But it might not stay that way for long. New York Times reports that Discord's founders are meeting with investor bankers in preparation for a possible IPO as early as this year. While plans can always change, what that means right now is the meeting place for 200 million monthly users, over 90% of whom use it for gaming, is exploring going from a private company to a public one, ruled by the founding principle of the stock market. Number must go up. Yeah, that is... That is, I mean, I feel like all good things go that way anyways, because eventually it gets to the point where you're like, time to cash out. How much money can I get for this? Like, I feel like that is, especially in late age capitalism that we're in right now, there gets to a point where you're like, time to tap out. And so no one, and also Skype's dead. Skype died. They're killing off Skype. Yeah.
Time.
Dude. Same. Same. According to Lagrada, reported by Lagrada, goodbye Skype. The popular platform is shutting down for good after this tough decision by Microsoft. It's now official. Say goodbye to Skype as Microsoft has finally decided to shut down this popular platform. And so I think everything's moving to an app that I genuinely do not remember what it is. Like all the users are going to move to like, might be some new Microsoft app actually. I don't know where it's moving to.
I wonder what the new platform's going to be. Because like I remember when Discord was announced, I was using like TeamSpeak and Ventrilo and shit still.
I feel, funny enough, I feel like TeamSpeak's trying to make a comeback.
I'd be fine. I mean, it's kind of hard to like host a server on like Ventrilo and TeamSpeak and shit like that. So that's kind of hard.
No,
but, like,
I let me see. Because I think TeamSpeak. Let me make sure okay, here we go. This is January 20th, 2025. Teams from PC Gamer. TeamSpeak could finally be so back since it can't stop teasing a new makeover while sneakily encouraging you to delete your Discord account. Essentially, TeamSpeak is trying to make a Discord.
Interesting.
Yeah. Or something that feels like Discord is the impression that I got from this. And went, you know what I mean? Screen share, camera sharing, design overhaul. See you tomorrow. And like this picture they posted, and I'll post it for our video audience too. Looks very much like Discord. Let me show.
Interesting.
Yeah, let me show you this crowd. So I mean, yeah, and that was the impression I got, and I was like, let me make sure I actually saw all that, you know. And it's like, oh, yep, absolutely. That's that looks like Discord. So, I mean, I don't know, like, if Discord ends up going to shit because now it's a publicly traded thing, and maybe there's maybe we go back to TeamSpeak. Maybe TeamSpeak's the way. I don't fucking know.
Could you imagine moving? Let's see. Let's look at your Discord real quick.
Oh shit! Yeah, don't even. That was Twitter. That was fucking.
I thought you had like a total, like you had like a number viewer of like how many people were in your Discord at one point. Could you imagine moving like thousands of people to a new app? Being like, hey guys, Discord dead.
Well, you can't. All you could really do. Yeah, I've got. I mean, I don't know how many are fucking active. Let me see. Oh Jesus. Okay, so if I pruned. Yeah, so if I pruned like users, like users from my Discord, I thought it was gonna be way more. I would kick out, if they weren't active for more than 30 days, I'd kick out like 800 members. We've got 12,000 plus members on the IO Discord. So the answer is no, I can't. All I would do is like, hey, we've got a TeamSpeak, and then I would have to manage both. Kind of almost like what I'm doing right now, with Blue Sky and X, because like I'm like everything's so scattered and split right now that you're just like, fuck, you know what I mean? So I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it would be. It would be what it would be, you know. And that's just all there is to it. So yeah, whatever ends up being the main platform, that's where we move to, because that's the biz, baby.
God damn it, Discord.
That's
you dumb bitch.
You know what, bud? That is what it is. That is, especially content creating, man. Like, it was YouTube for a while, and then Adpocalypse happened, and everyone moved to Twitch, and now Twitch is kind of slowly choking on itself. And so
the fucking highlights thing.
Yeah,
I'm kind of curious what Twitch. Like, I wonder who they're gonna sell Twitch to. Like, I wonder who's gonna come and buy it.
I'm so worried that Kick is gonna come, and with their infinite gambling wealth going, we'd like that now, because it's what's the valuation? Pretty low, I bet, you know. And then Amazon goes, yeah, fucking take it, whatever. That's what I'm worried about happening. And then if that happens, I don't know what, because like, I don't know.
I don't really know what happens at that point. That's like a very like you sort of like have to sit back and be like, okay, do I stick with this now? Like I'm here. Oh, do I get the 80-20 split now?
Yeah. Well, no, it's I think it's like 90-10 or 95-5 on Kick.
Damn.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, but you're on fucking Kick, you know, you're advertising for stake and gambling. Like that's not my MO. That's not what I want to fucking do. So I know for me personally, I and that this could easily change, but I'd like to think that I would just go to YouTube, because I don't know if I could stream on Kick. You know what I mean? It's specifically because of what they do and endorse.
I guess it depends on how much they like. If they're like, you have to advertise it all the time, I'd be like, nah. Like, yeah, like I'm just I'm a fucking TTRPG creator, dog.
Oh,
like,
dude, it's not that
I'm
you're
not putting stake in the fucking game.
You don't know. They're not. And yeah, when I say advertise, I'm not saying like, hey, to be on Kick, you have to advertise stake. It just does it so automatically. They've got ads and shit running on that site all the time for stakes.
Oh,
yeah. So I mean, it doesn't really fucking matter. So for me, it's whatever. Whatever helps us survive.
So here's the other thing.
Yeah.
Like I kind of view that in the same vein of Twitch posting credit card ads.
Yeah.
Because I mean, credit cards are super fucking malicious and predatory.
Oh, absolutely.
So I view gambling and credit cards in a very similar vein.
I remember one time getting an offer to be sponsored for like a gamer credit card, and I'm just like, no.
What the fuck?
Fucking way. I won't.
What the fuck is a gamer credit?
Oh, it's
yeah,
probably
your APR is like 30%. Like,
yeah. Well, no, I'm saying is like it probably is something like, you know, spend X amount of money and get like Microsoft points or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, you know, we'll do what we gotta do to keep doing what we're doing. And if the community was fine with Kick, then that'd be something to think about. But again, I'd probably just do YouTube. Ultimately, at the end of the day, everything sucks. The applications you use fucking blow. You're using a phone that was made by a child in a foreign country. There's no fucking escape. You know, we can.
We're getting deep.
All I'm saying is you do the best you can with the options that you've got. And ultimately at the end of the day, survival. You know, you gotta fucking survive. You know.
Here's the other thing. Like, here's the big thing, right? Like, I'm bitching and moaning, and like stomping my feet. At the end of the day, dude,
we're not leaving Discord.
I'm gonna get up off my desk.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go lay in my bed.
Yep.
And play on my phone.
Yep.
Because everything I'm complaining about is literal first world problems.
Yep. Oh, 100%. 100%.
I am a fat fucking dude who walks around with a cane, who like is like stone, the tree,
yeah,
and like that. My issue is. What my issue is, did my Instacart driver pick the right like soup?
I swear to God, if I get a drink without a straw, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
They fucking forgot my utensils again. As I sit down with like my Panera bread.
Fuck, man, I can't tell you how many times I've done like a delivery, like a DoorDash, Uber Eats kind of thing, and I look in the bag and I don't see utensils, and I'm just like I'm steamed, and I have to stop myself because I'm like, it's a fucking plastic utensil. You got forks. Just get up.
Correct. Go grab a fork from the fucking kitchen. So many times have I been these fucking guys, and then I stop as I'm like heating up my food, and I go, I just grab a metal fork.
I just gotta calm down. I just gotta
grab a metal fork. Jesus Christ.
I just gotta fucking calm down. I just gotta fucking calm down. And that's exactly it. And you draw, you know, like, I think, although the worst thing is when I get a drink and they don't have a straw, because I don't usually have straws in my house. So that is, you know, That is a slight inconvenience.
Pissing me off.
Fucking god damn it, son of a bitch. Yeah, ultimately at the end of the day, I mean, if Discord sold out is gonna be shitty, yeah, but we're all gonna stay on Discord, you know.
Yeah, I'll stick with it until they're basically like
until you can't anymore.
Nitro is $200 a year now. And we're pumping ads directly into your Discord calls. Like a bot will join and pump like a fucking an ad, like some Spotify ad into your voice call, and then leave after like 60 seconds. That's when I'd be like, all right, guys, packing up shop. I'm fucking leaving.
it is what it is. What it is. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, that's. Yeah, and then as creators, you know, a lot of the times you aren't really given the choice of where you're going to make your money, you know, where you're going to set your tent down. You know, you're like, oh, I want to be on this platform, but, you know, I make no money on that platform. Because it is. You just got to figure out how to do it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you carve a piece out. You live by the example you want to live. You make the life you want to make, and hope for the best. And hope you're not making the wrong choice at the end of the day. Absolutely.
Damn.
Yeah, damn. Always going deep on dumpster delvers. We tell it how it is. And there are times where I worry about that, where I'm like, I hope people are okay that we sometimes go, fucking god damn it, the damn fucking government. And because I'm trying not to, because I know for me personally, I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm getting a little down and depressed with everything, and I'm just like, and then I've got people yell.
I'm not a big fan of the government.
I'm not a big fan of the government either. And then I have Democrats yelling at me, being like, you can't just sit there and do nothing. You gotta do something. And you're just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, what do you want me to do?
What do you want from me, man? Like
you do something. That's what we like to do.
Drop the fucking ball, asshole.
It is, because I'm just like, man, I don't want to deal with it. I just want to, I got to live my life. I got to push forward. I got to carve my little piece, and I got to do the best and live by example. And then I got fucking Bernie Sanders is like, now's not the time to put your head in the sand. And I'm like, Bernie, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do, Bernie? Bern, I don't know what you want from me, man.
You tell me. You tell me what you want from me right now.
What do we do now? Yeah, that's exactly. That's the frustrating part. Is just when you here I am going on this fucking rant. I'm gonna board this rant pretty fucking quick. State of the Union happened this week. It was as dystopian as I thought it was gonna be. It fucking was terrible as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it fucking sucked. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was awful. I thought it was just the worst thing ever. And at that point, you just throw your hands up in the air and you're just like, we're fucked. We're fucked until something else happens. You know, it's all it is to it. You're just fucked. And like, the Republican side is being fucking obnoxious. There's no decorum whatsoever. And it just sucks. It just sucks. It just fucking sucks. And I don't know what to do about it, you know, so. And Trump's up there saying the dystopian fucking dictator bullshit. And then just being like, and then like throwing like a kid in front of he's like, he's a Secret Service guy. And like someone else is like, oh yeah, you're going full paid military school. I'm like, this propaganda. All you're doing is propaganda. All you're doing is fucking doing propaganda for the fucking Republican Party to say, look how cool we are. Meanwhile, fuck Ukraine, and we're gonna go ahead and, you know, oh, Russia's not that bad. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Anyways, hey, what's up?
Hey, man. Yeah.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel right now. These are the feelings I have right now that I have to be like, because with a problem, you could look at it and get a solution. But with this problem, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, there is nothing I can do right now. There's zero things I need right now. It's all I know is I'm thankful that I got my video card before it's gonna go up in like 25% because these stupid fucking tariffs. And I don't know why the fuck he keeps doing this. And I think he's just playing a fucking game. Crown, I grab you by your fucking scrub. I think he's just playing a game with us. I think he's just announcing tariffs, and then 2 days later, you know, the market fucking crashes, and then you know, his rich people buy into the low market, and then 2 days later he goes, we're rescinding the tariffs. Don't worry about it. They're gonna do what we want now. And then the market goes up, and I'm like, I see what you're doing. You're doing a fucking cheat code. I've fucking hate that bullshit. You want a recession so that your fat cat millionaires who are going to survive anyway is going to buy low. And then when it finally gets back to normal after 2 fucking years, it's skyrocket there. Anyways, hey, what I'm saying is we're in the Matrix. We're playing by the rich people game now. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying right now.
There was a moment when he was doing his interview where you could literally see the Dow drop like fat fucking percentages while he's talking about the tariffs.
Yeah,
it was crazy to see it in real time of him being like, he's like, we're announcing tariffs, and I'm watching the Dow drop like 10%.
Bro,
10%,
I'm gonna tell 15%. You right now, as the capitalist that I'm a little capitalist that I've been putting my savings into the market. Because if the market goes down, aka like crashes and never exists again, we're all fucked. It doesn't matter, because everything's in the fucking market. So if the market doesn't exist tomorrow, like we're all fucked anyway. So it doesn't really matter if my money is in like a fucking mattress or if it's like playing the rich people game. And that's what I do. I leave it alone and I just let it do its shit. And I go, this will probably double in 10 years. And sure enough, there it is. And it was doing well. I mean, it'll bounce back. It'll be fine. But now, this past week, whoo, all I see is red. All I see is my money just going, whoo. And I'm going, yep. And I'm nodding and I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it go down and I'm not panicking. I'm not freaking out. And I'm looking and I'm like, yep. That's not about, yep. I'm like, yep. You'll go back up eventually because, someone's gonna get involved and then it'll fucking go back up. But I keep looking and I go, yep, there it is, there it goes, yep. There was one point I realized during the market crash, I was like, all this is going on, I've lost $10,000. That's wild to me. That's crazy.
Sort of sits back, rubs chin. Huh.
Okay.
That just happened to me. That just
sorry, a speech to Congress or whatever. It's whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about. You're just looking at it like, okay. Yeah, that's fine. It'll go back up, and at some point in time it'll go back up. I think I've come to the conclusion that the only way we're gonna get back on track. I don't mean like back on track where like everyone stops hating each other, you know what I mean, and thinking the other person's the fucking Antichrist. I think the only way we're gonna get back on track, and as awful as this sounds, is we're gonna need like a 9/11 event happen to America.
Interesting.
I think that's the only way we're gonna get back.
Interesting.
I want to be clear. I'm definitely not saying that's what I want to happen. I do not want that to happen. But I think I think people have gotten a little too comfortable. I think people are getting a little too, we've got everyone riled up. And people haven't, aren't going through real like terrifying shit right now. You know what I mean? So everyone's like, I'm going to keep doing my thing. I'm going to keep saying my thing. I think I'm going to do there. I'm going to keep hating my fellow American, my fellow person, because, my team told me so. I mean, think about it as like a child would, it's like, I don't like that guy because their favorite color is blue. That's essentially where we are now as a nation. You know what
Correct.
I mean?
Correct.
That's where that is literally what I think is.
There's no more listening to each other or willing to,
He's wearing
debate topics or anything like that.
He's wearing yellow, and yellow is not my favorite color. It's really, if you like yellow, you're just not a real person. You just fucking suck. That's where we are. And that's a stupid reason to hate someone.
Tribalism and like hardcore full effect.
So what I'm saying is like, our anger and hate is sadly at each other for the stupidest reasons that at the end of the day just mean fucking nothing, right? Mm-hmm. That we need like for us to snap out of it and realize, oh shit, like something like everyone's still able to go about their day to day. Something is going to happen that just puts a fucking stop to that. Not the fear of that happening. It'll have to happen. and
Correct.
it'll suck for everybody. And then that is when we will be united, when we all can look at each other and goes, that fucking sucks and I'm scared.
You know what we need? Honest to God.
Honest to God, what do we need? What do we need?
Honest to God. And it's only really ever been seen in like movies, right? So obviously this is going to be complete like bullshit that I'm about to spew. What we need, honest to God, is like an alien invasion.
Yes.
So here's my thing.
You're correct. You're correct.
We need not a foreign threat. We need an extraterrestrial threat.
Yeah.
Something non-human who comes down and is like, we want your water. Or we want your bio whatever, some bullshit, something that makes people go, holy fuck, it's humans versus them, and suddenly
or unified.
Gone.
I mean, that
suddenly the world is united because now we have a greater threat. Now the goal isn't hating my neighbor. The goal now is conquer the stars, reclaim what is yours, son of man type shit.
Funny enough, and this will get us out of this, you literally just described the plot to Watchmen.
Nice.
You literally
nice.
Osmondanius or whatever the fuck his name is a hero, but he's like a rich fucking hero. Like he's selling like action figures himself. He is like someone said, he's like the Elon Musk of heroes, essentially, where like he's got all the resources, he's got all the money, but he's also a fucking superhero. He's got that. So this motherfucker engineers and creates this massive sized tentacle monster, like this giant, huge, nasty tentacle monster creature, and teleports it right in the middle of New York City to make it look like an alien invasion. And this thing it wipes out like 60 million people. It is just mass devastation. And this was an alternate reality. So this is like an alternate US that's being told, because this happens essentially in like the 80s or 90s or something. And my times might be correct, because Nixon is still in power. Like he's like third or fourth elected. Like Nixon is like the president in the fucking 80s right now. And it's everyone's on high alert. It's the Cold War. Everyone's got their hand on the button between the Soviet Union, and we think it's going to be a nuclear disaster. And then this alien fucking appears and murders 60 million people. And that day, all the world leaders start talking to each other. It's like, we're cool. Are we cool? We cool, right? Yep, we're cool. Okay. And then everyone was just super friendly. And we're like, we got to kill the alien invasion. And peace ensued. And literally that was the end of I believe the original, the original Watchmen is once the owl and stuff, like all the other heroes like encounter the rich superhero that did this, and was like, hey, like, we know what you're going to do and we're going to stop you. We're not going to let you kill anybody. Why are you doing this? And he explains the whole thing. He explains the whole plan. He goes, right now we're at risk of killing each other. So my plan is to give them something to turn their anger at. And they're like, you don't think and the heroes are like, you don't think we're actually going to let you do that? And he's like, and this guy is a genius. He's like, you don't think I was actually going to tell you what I did if there was some way you were going to stop it? No, I'm telling you because I literally just did it an hour ago. It's already happened.
Nice. And
the heroes are like, like our main good guys are like, but we're gonna tell everyone, we're gonna tell everyone what you did, because that's not right. And he's like, okay, so yeah, you're gonna sell me out. And he's like, look at this. And he's literally, there's news reports everywhere what happened, where it's like, where United States is like, I've talked to the premier of the Kremlin, and we've decided that, we need to stop. We need to figure out what this is. We need to stop. We need to put everything together. We need to come together right now and stop this extraterrestrial alien, and I've talked to other world leaders, and we're already forming treaties and pacts and making sure that we are unified as a planet, as a world, you know, and it's like immediately, like after the attack happened, like it's news is breaking out essentially that world peace had been achieved in the effort to stop this new threat.
Damn.
And so Osmodanius, or I'm saying his name wrong, and the comment section is going to tear me up for this, is fine.
I mean, it sounds like you're trying to say Asmodeus.
It's not Osmodeus. Now I got to look it up because he's like a crazy, Watchman main villain. Ozymandias is his name. Ozymandias. I'm saying it wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so yeah, he is like, if you like tell people what I did and told them it was a deception and it was just us, like the treaty's done. Like that's it. They're gonna turn back on each other, and now they're gonna be angrier and scared than ever. So, do you want to do it? Like, do you want to like tell everyone, or do you want to look at the bigger picture with me and see what it's actually done? And it was to the point where like everyone except one of the good guys was essentially yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Fucking Rorschach.
Yes, exactly. Rorschach is like, you know, I believe in justice, and I'm not gonna fucking lie for you, no matter the outcome. The point where like, fucking Dr. Manhattan is like, I'll take care of this. Goes out and it's like, we can't tell anyone because it's gonna essentially bring the world into a really terrible place, and 60 million people would have died. And then so it's like, boop, dead. Yeah, that's the line. No compromise. No, that's what Rorschach says. No compromises, even in the face of Armageddon. Yeah, it's a great ending because
that's what we need.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying too, dude. We need something to unify, and because we're not united. Hey, look at the State of the Union address of George Bush, George W. Bush, like right after 9/11. And if you've seen like the State of the Union, the Joint Congress, like all those sessions, like watch that. That is a historical marker that I think everyone should watch, is the State of the Union address after 9/11. And the president comes out, both sides are clapping, cheering, minutes of cheering, and I remember one of the things he says is, my fellow Americans, I'm happy to report that the State of the Union is strong. And everyone's just like, yeah, now everyone was essentially so united because there was a threat that we could all get behind. It is a different reality from what you see now when you look at the State of the Unions, the Joint Congress, and everyone's just like booing the other side and just be no decorum whatsoever. It just, completely different. So, but yeah, totally for my people in the States, so check it out sometime and you'll see the stark difference. So so that's where I'll put the 0 over the dumpster diver talks about politics. I hang it up and go, better luck next week, chum. We'll get.
What do you mean? So here's my thing. You said.
You're right.
We're just shooting the shit.
No. I don't think there is anything inherently wrong with it. I just know it's not like, well, if it comes up, we'll always talk about it. I'm never gonna shy away from it. It's just more of like, I just worry about our audience sometimes, because I feel like, they need a break. Like they need just a little break, but people seem to enjoy it. So I don't know, if it's something people like, then I don't mind continuing to talk about it. I just want to give people a breather, because sometimes I need a breather. It is. And like I said before, I see a wacky news headline and I just shake my head, because I'm like, there's nothing I can do right now. And I'm like, I need to move on. I need to push forward. I need to keep going. That's where I'm at. So sometimes I just want to give the people a break, and I want them to breathe, so that's what I worry about. That is just a personal worry of mine. I'm not saying anything is wrong there, because it's two things that'll set me off right now in my armory of things that set me off. It's our political situation here in the States, and whatever stupid decision Wizards of the Coast is making to D&D that's killing the game that I love so much. So those are the two things. Those are the two things.
What were you? Well, here, I'm gonna immediately ruin whatever plans you just had. When I was playing video games, somebody came to me and said, "Hey, your grandpa's yelling at clouds again." And I remember tuning in, and you were yelling about WotC. So
I'm always yelling at WotC. I'm always yelling about WotC. I mean, it's just the same shit. It's the same shit that I've always been saying. I'm still incredibly upset that they didn't include rules on making monsters. Which, by the way, I got linked to an article by Mike Miros, it was from what was it called? Something of Holding. It was an article, and they essentially broke down the new monster manual, like, numbers on how to make creatures in 2024. And I'm like, thank God for the community, man. Like, like that really broke it down. And what was interesting about that, I actually bookmarked the article, but now I don't know where my bookmarks are. Oh, there they are. I was like, I don't know where my bookmarks are in fucking this site. Oh yeah, Blog of Holding. Did the 2024 Monster Manual on a business card version 2 Legendary Edition. So essentially what they've done is they kind of put on a little card, here's the rules of how to build a monster. Like, if it fits on a business card, done. If I can hand you a business card and give you everything, all the information you need to make a creature in D&D 5e, like that's what they've done. They've compressed all the information and placed it on a small little card, and it's true. I could look at the card and go, okay, if I need to make a creature on the fly, look at the card, done. It's easy peasy. It's like exactly what like Pathfinder does, where it's just super simple. Which again, motherfucker, you knew this was gonna set me off.
What? No, what?
Which again is what upsets me the most when their excuse is, it's too complicated. If we tell you how we do it, it's too complicated. I'm like,
we can't trust you because you're fucking morons, apparently.
Yeah, I was like, but meanwhile,
which is the craziest thing.
Meanwhile, I've quite literally have a card here, which chat, by the way, over in our chat, you too have a card now to make your own creatures in D&D 2024. And what the rules is, it's quite literally on one page of Google Doc. It's on one page of Google. I'll give it to you, Crown. There it is. This is the cheat sheet. So essentially,
I hold it up. Wow, this is worthless. I throw it over my shoulder.
I know. I'm just saying in general, just so you could kind of see what they've done, because they have really actually done some weird fucking math, right?
Interesting.
So like the standard creatures themselves, the numbers really haven't changed that much from the original table. They've got like kind of like the flat line. And definitely I can see where like the damage went up a little bit. I can see where the hit points went up a little bit. But really what they did, and I thought this was a funny move, because I was looking at the dragon turtle, right? And I was like, this is like a CR19, CR20 when I was calculating all the numbers. I'm like, this is CR17. This is like up at 1920. This makes no fucking sense. Is that apparently what they just did, they put like a blanket 25% damage buff if a creature is legendary, so has legendary actions, or if it is a dragon. Which is why you will see a lot of higher level creatures in the Monster Manual 2024 and be like, Jesus Christ, this damage is fucking insane. And you're like, it's a blanket 25% buff if you are if you have legendary actions, or if you're a dragon. Like any dragon, any type of dragon. Yeah. Like, that's it. I'm just like, that's easy.
Doesn't make sense, but okay.
well, it's because they were trying to curtail, like, they wanted legendary creatures to feel more powerful, essentially, because how endgame is kind of a joke in D&D. And I guess their solution was simply increase the damage they do.
that. Sure, I guess that seems like the stupidest choice you could make.
I agree. I agree. You know, there's really no substance to it, but also at the same time, now keep in mind, these calculations were done from someone completely separate from Wizards of the Coast. They do show their work. So if you guys do want to like actually look at the article, these sons of guns do show their fucking work with like all sorts of graphs and charts and all over at Blog of Holding. So like you can see they've done the math, they've broken down the work, and they've shown with the lines where all of this shit's kind of changed. You know what I mean? So it's
interesting.
Yeah. But it is, but also at the same time they've kind of simplified some of the design where it's like hey, a CR4 creature usually has an AC of let's see here, an AC of 15. You can add or subtract 2 depending on the of the AC. You can add or subtract 10% of the hit points. You can add or subtract the attack by 2. You know, you can add or subtract 10% from the damage, and it kind of breaks down when to do that, which is how, my understanding, how Pathfinder does it, where it's like, yeah, here's your very strong, your very weaks, your normal, blah, 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 and you can adjust this, but if you adjust this, you know, make these adjustments here, keep these in mind. And honestly, I feel like that's all people really need, personally. D&D is not that hard of a game. Let's just be real. You know, it's... I with as many games as I've run, the only times I have seen the party in any remote kind of danger is at 2nd or 3rd level. You know, with first level being a coin flip.
1 to 3 is where lethality is the highest, and then like 4 to 5 is where, depending on what you throw at them, because guess what? There are, I don't know. Let's just take a look at. Let me throw a dart at a dartboard.
Yep.
The dartboard is one picture, and it's a banshee because it's a level 3 creature for some fucking reason that has the ability to kill, I don't know, level 20 PCs, and it's a CR3, and I hurl the dart and I don't even aim at it and it just hits it. I go, that thing will kill anybody.
Yep.
And I go, let's go even lower, and I take another dart and I throw it at the dartboard and I hit a shade. It's the whole fucking wall. And then you go, wow. That's
crazy.
A powerful creature. It has the ability to drain stats. And I go, that's right. Do you want to know how many you should be fighting at level 1? And they go, level 1? I go, that's right. You fight 2 of them. 2 of them at level 1. And that's considered a medium encounter.
Yeah.
And they go, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the math don't add up. Honestly, we should have just stuck with the way 4E made creatures. But we didn't, because I think 4E was such a failure when it came out that Wizards of the Coast and everyone was like, we're just gonna start again from our 3E roots and make it way more accessible. Because 4E didn't work. People weren't excited about 4E. I look at 4E now as as inspiration, you know, because yeah. Oh, I know.
It's that, I don't know if you've seen that Dexter meme where he's gently placing a hand onto a picture of like Einstein, and he's like, I have failed you. Like that's me putting my hand on 4th edition. Now, like finding out about it so many years later and being like, I have failed you. And then trying to do the resurgence and then just being like, oh, but Pathfinder does that. So I don't, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I got all my 4E creators, like all the people who worked on 4th edition now working on 2nd edition. So I'm basically living the dream that I wanted to live.
You essentially are now back in time with this like funny 4E 3E system that you've got.
That's right.
Yeah, you're like,
laughs good, baby. Laughs good.
Yeah, good for you, man. I've already explained my reasoning why I'm sticking with 5E. It's just because
course
of the community I built.
I want you to abandon it so that way you can make your own, because I want to play my Death Knight. I don't give a shit about, like, here's I was explaining this to chat as I take over this podcast of ours.
Yeah,
and
please.
I push you. I was talking about this in chat where I came to the realization that I will play in a 5th edition game if I am asked to play in a 5th edition game, but I don't like playing 5th edition anymore.
Really?
Yeah. There was a moment where we were playing Curse of Strahd, and I went, okay, that's my turn, and it was like I did nothing basically. Like I was like, all right, I cast one thing, and that's my whole turn.
Yep.
I don't get to do anything else, and I had that realization afterwards, where like the fight was great. I loved fighting the emissary. I loved fighting Onwin.
Yeah.
The playing with everybody, still super fun, but I just realized that I don't like the system anymore.
Oh yeah.
And that I don't have fun playing the system. The fun comes from playing with my friends.
Yeah.
That's where the fun comes from.
Doesn't really matter
But,
what the system is. Absolutely.
Correct. And I realized, I was like, if I'm gonna play 5th edition, it's gonna be because somebody's asking me to play it, and I'm not gonna go out of my way to play it because I just enjoy Pathfinder too much. I love being able to. I love the 3 action system too much. And it was just that there was just that sort of realization where I was like, I'm gonna play Rime of the Frost Maiden because I get to play with my friends again, and that's what I'm going there for. I'm not going there for 5th edition anymore.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't care whatever class I play because it's all like, the same.
I don't think anyone goes for 5th edition. I don't, and that's also the feeling I have, where it literally is like I like to build fun things for 5th edition and try and make it more engaging. You seemed really stoked about the recharge abilities you all are getting.
Yeah, dude, because that's not 5th edition.
Yeah. You're like, yes,
making stuff. Like when you homebrew and you go away from the 5th edition system, that's where I get the most joy out of it.
Yeah.
When you go, hey, here's a recharge system. Hey, here's an ailments and me pushing $10 across the ground towards you. It's mostly dirty. I found it underneath like a tire that I'm sitting on. The stress system that you'll eventually add. That's not 5th edition.
Yeah,
that's the stuff that I'm there for.
Look, we need to talk about that. Okay.
Well, it's not bad.
You came in, you ambushed me during Rime of the Frost Maiden, saying you want a stress system, and I said it. You ambushed me.
You were sitting in a Discord call.
Ambushed me.
This motherfucker is sitting in a private Discord that he's given all of his players access to.
You shoved that stress system, and I was like, no, I gotta build my own system. And then you were like, fine, you left, you were dejected, and I felt bad, and I was like, there's just no room for a stress system in this game. And then I immediately, not even 2 minutes later, went, now wait a second, and then started.
Yes.
Yeah, it was all a ruse, this whole elaborate, like, you ambushed me. I wanted to let you know that we were gonna have a stress system in Rime of the Frost Maiden.
Amazing. I get to whatever I end up rolling.
Yeah.
I will turn into a Darkest Dungeon character.
So
boom.
So that was one of the things I want to talk about is oh my god, there's gonna be so many systems now that I'm thinking about it. There is going to be several systems that are new to hopefully add to the hardcore experience that we're actually gonna see. We're gonna do the exhaustion system. It's gonna go up to 10. And if you get exhaustion, you suffer -1 penalty, -1 penalty to all your rolls. If you get to 10, you essentially have to make a Constitution save or fucking perish, essentially.
Nice.
And then every time you get an exhaustion after that, you keep making that save until you fucking die. So there's that.
I feel like we're gonna chew through a lot of characters.
Oh, probably. I hope so. You know, it's gonna be great.
I hope your wallet is ready.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, okay. First of all, I feel like exhaustion 10 is more than enough because that's like I didn't.
Oh, you're doing it. I thought you said exhaustion 6.
Oh yeah, I said 6. I decided to change it to 10.
Oh, then yeah, 10 is great.
Yeah. The reason why I said 10 is because now we are going to have a strain system. And essentially what that is
I quirk my brow.
Much like stress. Whenever something happens, and you might not even need to save for it, I give you a point of strain. And what I do then is roll a d10. If the result is equal to or less than your current strain, you suffer an affliction. And then we definitely are doing that sort of darkest dungeon list of afflictions, essentially.
Interesting.
Yes. And there will actually be some afflictions I thought of, like fearful, will literally be like, hey, the damage you deal is cut by a fourth. Like nice. you do less damage. There's gonna be, I definitely wanted a paranoia one. Specifically, what that does, one of the effects of paranoia is if you are targeted by a spell or effect by another creature where you would regain hit points, make a wisdom saving throw. If you fail, you don't get healed because essentially you are so fucking nervous that it's actually a trap that you managed to completely dispel it away.
Yes. Let's see. Hold on. Now that we've, I stack my papers together. I start getting my mess in order. And I go, hold on. I'm wiping sweat off my forehead. We have paranoid for 16 to 25. You cannot be the target of your ally's spells, actions, or abilities, such as those which will result in you gaining hit points or losing stress points.
Nice. So I pretty much see. I gotta make it. I
tap my papers together and I go, here you go, and I hand it to you.
You're like, you're right there. I
don't know if you want virtues. I don't know if you want.
No, there won't be. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh my.
Oh no. Strain is pure, because I was getting that question as well. No, strain is purely an ailment affliction. And
okay, so this is a focus purely. Okay, so I want you to understand that if this is a stress system with only negatives,
correct,
you are creating death spirals.
Yes.
Okay. As long as that's what we're understanding. Like this is a grim, evil setting is what you are making.
Of course.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Well, so you can lose strain by an exhaustion by camping. The spell Calm Emotions lower strain. There will actually be magical spells and effects that will lower strain and lower exhaustion. Like we'll actually add that there. When you perform heroic deeds or get a roll a critical hit or do a critical DC check, confidence will seep in and then you'll start to lower the strain. So there's definitely more ways to lower it if you, as long as you're looking out for yourself. Camping is one of the best ways to lower strain, specifically because, first of all, if you set up a good camp, playing a musical instrument for your friends with a performance check is a way to lower strain on everyone that's listening to you, and may even get a heroic inspiration or a hero point is what I'd like calling the re-roll of the D20, essentially. And so absolutely there are things there. What makes it very interesting is this gives a good role to clerics and other classes who support. Your support goes now beyond hit point regeneration. You're the source of you're the motivator, and that's where it's like,
dude, a bard is going to in Rime of the Frostbite, like playing a bard who has like the recovery song and all that shit. Like, oh my god, somebody playing a little ditty after a monster's been killed. Yeah, that person is going to be the most valuable person in the party.
I think we get at that point. You get you're gonna see some camp role play with this system.
Nice,
because we're definitely gonna do and it's going to be a lapsed time as well, where it's just kind of like you set up the camp, you build the fire, you can use the food stuff that you have, or you go out hunting to bring food back. You've got the cooking. If the cooking goes well, it might actually alleviate strain. That's what I said. The camp system is going to be so much fun. And then you've also got the guard. And I told you about this, where there's actually going to be a chance where whoever's guarding may accidentally think they see something, decide they want to. Dude. This is one thing I thought with this. I was so excited once I was like, I want to stress. I was like, we do need to stress this. We need to stress this, because I was like, oh my god, that makes camping so much more helpful to people. So essentially, the idea is whoever's holding up a guard will have to, make a check or make a percept, and if they roll low, you're either gonna get ambushed or you're not gonna get ambushed. So we don't just skip ahead. You go, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to wake everyone up? Do you want to, And as a DM, I get to be a little asshole that goes like, oh, you hear a weird sound in the woods, like you aren't certain what it is. Maybe it is just a shitty thing charging towards you that needs like only a 4 to hear it, or maybe you're playing tricks. But either way, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna tell your party, hey guys, I think we're under attack? Because if you do that, no matter the result, they suffer a strain because you're being jostled awake to be like, get up, we gotta defend the camp, so strain, like you're immediately over there. So imagine doing that and it's nothing happens. And everyone's just like, everyone's kind of panicked now for a little bit and then they go back to bed, So
how does that, how does that work with an elf in the party? Because an elf is conscious of their surroundings while they're long resting.
Yeah.
Because they only need 4 hours. And even then, that meditation still keeps them aware to their surroundings. Are they honestly going to incur the same penalties that somebody else might? Because I feel like an elf is like a really strong choice in a camp scenario like that.
Oh, yeah. And as they should be. Okay. Absolutely. You could literally have the elf during their long rest be the sentry if you want them to be. And they will be able to keep an ear out. You still need perception checks. Keep in mind, you still need to know if something's coming to the camp so you guys can prepare. You don't want shit hitting the camp. You know what I mean? And then warn everybody, because that's surprise actions. That's even more strain as you are in an actively perilous scenario. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different outcomes that you can go with that. But I do genuinely think like an elf would be a good sentry because they can just be in their trance, getting the full long rest, or whatever. So that way you can kind of keep an eye on everyone. And here's the thing, maybe this is not, maybe this isn't the hot take that I think it is. I am okay with certain individuals being really good at certain activities.
Okay.
I'm all for it. I'm all for.
I think that's fine. Actually,
I think it is. I think it's cool that, well, you're the elf, so maybe you should look out for the camp. And then that player gets to be like the guy for that. You know what I mean? That is able
I would love that, actually. I want to return to the form. Here's my incredibly hot take.
Yeah.
It's tepid at best. I want to return to the form of party roles. Yeah. I want the party to be like, hey, if you're going to come play with us, you're going to play the thief, because we need somebody to fucking open doors for us. Please, dear God, we are tired of being barred from doors for 45 minutes in a session while the barbarian throws their fucking face against it and misses every time. Please, you are going to play a thief. You are playing the thief character now. Well, were you late to the session? You're the cleric now. You're going to take care of us.
So like
dear God.
I saw someone mention like, oh my gosh, in a system like this, clerics are going to be too powerful or paladins are going to be too powerful. And I'm like, for what? For strain removal? Yes, dude, they should be.
Clerics are strong, but guess what happens? As I can tell you right now, having played a life cleric in Curse of Strahd in a hardcore game, the moment I am out of spell slots, I am useless.
Yeah.
I become a nothing burger.
So ultimately, at the end of the day, like, if you're the person that can fucking do it, then you're the person that can fucking do it. That is very much a boon for the party. I like that. I like like it when there is someone there that has that, and if they're not there, the party struggles a little bit more.
Correct.
You know, I love that. I love where like these are the things we're good at, so these are the things we're probably gonna focus on or sort of head, you know, go into the direction of. You know what I mean? I love that. It's something about that. Maybe it's my old school thinking. You know what I mean? I fucking love that shit. So yeah, go on.
As we both say so, and then I kiss you on the mouth.
I knew you could keep the stress away.
Yes. Oh my god, this game's about to be lit. I'm about to steal Lobos. Oh.
What you're saying? So if I'm telling you like. Well, yeah, so it's a 5e game that you're excited about. You're like, oh no, it's not 5e. It's good now.
it's homebrew. I'm ready for the homebrew.
So you're telling me that if a game becomes good, it is no longer 5e because in its nature, a good game is not a 5e game.
So yes, actually, I begin to scale my perilous fucking mountain that I stand on.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the mountain I'll die on. Regular D&D fucking sucks. Like
there's just not a lot to it. Yeah, there's just
when
not a lot to it.
When you start homebrewing, immediately 5th edition becomes leagues better. Leagues, but the moment you start straying away from the skeleton and you start adding meat onto that bitch, suddenly the game becomes way more enjoyable. Suddenly it goes from, yeah, guess what? It's just Rime of the Frost Maiden, but the monsters have more hit points. And you go,
boo.
That's it?
Boring.
And instead it's like, guess what, motherfucker? We're introducing camping rules. We're introducing stress. We're introducing party rules. And everybody's like, holy shit. Oh my God. Like,
I did have a wild idea. So one thing I've been thinking about is specifically when it comes to travel is like, motherfuckers, you guys are going to need a cart and a mount. Like there's no way you're going to be able to carry all the shit you need to carry on your own. Like
absolutely. You're going to need a cart. You're going to need beasts of burden.
Yeah. And that's why I joked around. Like, you know, I love the idea of like an Oregon Trail sort of like,
yeah, dude. Imagine
D&D.
you are crossing the Icewind Dale. You are crossing this massive fucking frontier of ice, because that's where Rime of the Frostmaiden takes place. You're in like a frontier land, basically. People are trying to expand north. It is awful. It is the worst decision that any of those groups of people could have made.
As the DM, if it's so awful, why am I smiling so wide? Why does that sound amazing to me?
Because now imagine, instead of your random encounter isn't the creatures are out to get you. You are riding your cart to the next town over, and guess what, motherfucker? The 6 frost wolves aren't there for you. They're there for your ox.
Yeah.
They're there to take your fucking beast of burden pulling your cart, because guess what? They're going to drag that son of a bitch back to their pack and feed their whole pack. They don't give a shit about you.
So one of the scenarios I had, if you didn't have someone at watch, and now I'm thinking about this specifically with exhaustion, where I go, hey, do you have exhaustion on you right now? Ooh, you do? I'm gonna need a constitution check. Oh, did you fail? You fell asleep at the watch.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Yep.
How exciting is that? Why is that so fun? Why is that such a fun idea?
It incurs, there's like this risk that is incurred by doing something. Like there is this moment where you're sitting there and you're sort of like leaned back, you're peering into like this sort of like blanket, white and black out there in the world.
Yeah.
And there's this like gentle snowfall. It's cold, the fire's crackling, and then there's this, the weight of the day, day or the week finally catches up with you, because it's the same thing that happens in real life. You're sitting there and suddenly just the weight of the day catches up and your eyes begin to drift, and now you're struggling to stay awake, and then eventually your eyes close and your body goes into like this like shutdown mode where it's like, all right, time to sleep. and you wake up, and the only reason you wake up is because the sounds of screaming wake you up.
Yeah.
And you wake up suddenly and you look, and one of the tents has been torn open, and there's some fucking yeti grabbing the cleric, like slamming them into the ground or some shit like that. You could have prevented that, but because like the way that the day went, you basically failed the party.
And then I go, all right, I'm going to say that's a 2 strainer. Here's 2 strain points. Now we're going to do the affliction check. Rolls a 1d10. Ooh, and now you're fucking panicking. You know, like that. Oh, man, that's just... But here's some cool things now that we can introduce. Coffee.
Oh, God.
We can introduce coffee beans, and then making the coffee in the camp. We can introduce ale, liquor, alcohol to keep the strain down. All of this temporary, by the way, but just enough to like...
Wow. Hey, I'm so glad. I'd stack my papers again. So there's an item. It's called laudanum. Laudanum is a temporary cure. It's a small cure. It only heals it for 1, but it's a consumable item, much like a health potion that you drink, and it loses your stress. And I hand that over to you with the other stack of items like playing cards and whiskey bottles and like smut novels and like pipe weed that I basically have in a stack. What I'm saying is,
yes,
any amount of money,
dude. I'm doing it already. but yeah. So I mean, there's so many cool things we can do that are also can be resolved very quickly. I think that's the important part, because the last thing you want is just like everyone like being like, all right, roll these 20 different things. Like it literally is like, all right, I'm gonna do this, and while you're role playing, you're like, I'm gonna start playing a little thing on the loot, and you're just like, all right, give me a performance check and continue role playing, you know, and we just roll, and you know, when I have a moment, I can tell you what's going. I mean, there's so many cool system things we're gonna do, and so very excited about the strain system that will release on Patreon. Very excited about the exhaustion system. Very excited about all the things we're adding. Very excited about the camping mechanics. Very excited about the travel mechanics, because I definitely want to do a hex crawl where we get to like roll and see what you guys discover on each hex. Essentially, each hex is like quote unquote an encounter. Yeah, one of the other things about that is you fall asleep, and not if the camp gets jumped, it's not necessarily going to be because a party member dies. You're going to wake up to the sound of the wagon collapsing as you know, a pack of wolves and you know, has stolen a portion of your food stuff, you know, the shit that you guys need to survive.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so like, and that's also another thing I wanted to do is with certain roles is a quartermaster role would be really cool. That their ability would be to essentially quote unquote inflate the inventory space of what's on the cart because of their effective means of packing it, like shit like that, you know what I mean? Or specifically, what I think would be cool is whoever is declared quartermaster will be the one that has access to the cart's sheet, and only them. Meaning, if you want to know what's in the cart, you got to go through the quartermaster.
I like that.
I think that's fucking sick. I think that's cool. I think that adds to the travel and continues to add to like giving people like roles and stuff like that. That sounds awesome to me. So yeah, travel rules. Very excited for that. I'm very excited I'm really hoping this is going to build a narrative through the travels. You know what I mean? That it is a story, you know, stories can be told, role play can be told, like all sorts of stuff. I think that would be really fucking cool. Like, so fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
We did talk about the random dungeons. That was going to be sort of like Darkest Dungeon style, where it's like, here's the layout. Now start exploring the rooms. You know what I mean? And then each room has like an event that happens that either could be discovered, it could be an encounter, It could be a thing like a trap or whatever. It could be treasure that you find. Maybe you find a corpse and then you suddenly everyone gets strained. Like all that shit, like all that stuff. I think that'll be fun. And I think, I don't even know what you would call it. I think I will be removing subclasses. This is the big one. This is the big one. I think I'm going to be removing subclasses, and I will be adding subclass abilities onto items that need to be attuned by that class. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Okay. Wait, will need to be attuned by that class.
So a barbarian class, like not a class ability, a subclass ability. So like, for example, if you want frenzy, right? It would be attached to an item that would need to be attuned to a barbarian, right? So it would say required attunement barbarian. Only a barbarian can equip this, so that they can get that benefit. Yeah. So it still links with the classes, but then so you see that system requires attunement by the subclass's class, right? So you see that system. You get that system, right? Okay. So that would mean we could introduce, specifically, like powerful artifact legendary items that grant those abilities, but doesn't require the attunement of that class.
Oh. Okay, so I'm totally down for that. I would just need to see it in play.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying is like you find like this super rare, like helmet, where it makes it so that like it's the life cleric domain, right? Where like your healing is like increased or whatever, except it doesn't require attunement by cleric. It just requires anyone to attune. So now you've got the bard, like maybe putting on the helmet so that their cure wounds and their healing has the same benefit as a life cleric does, or the druid does that. You know what I mean?
Interesting. So this begs the question: are we going to be seeing more magic items in Rime of the Frost Maiden than what's initially in there?
Yes, I would believe so. I would believe so, and that's where I'm saying like the random dungeons, the relic dives, the things like that presents a lot of different opportunities for more treasure. So that essentially, you would be able to do that. But what's also cool is, so what you can do, we could even include a system where like if you find like a common item that has like a cleric ability. Oh, by the way, you'll only find items with these abilities. You would only find these items with these abilities because the party has that class. I want to be clear about that. So you're not going to find like a wizard ability. Yeah,
and we're not going to find like a warlock thing.
Yeah, there's no warlock.
Like, we don't have a fucking warlock here.
This is useless. Throws it down. One of the things I was also thinking is a new use for fate points. So I am gonna probably remove the magic item one, where like you spend 3 points to get a magic item. Don't laugh.
Oh man, Grandma really fucking scarred you, dog. That's crazy.
It was kind of first. It's not that. It's the fact that I'm telling people, just go ahead and wait on your points, and you'll get something eventually. Like that felt like I liked the sort of risk reward that you could do there, but also it was really discouraging. I don't think it was discouraging anyone, but I could see it being discouraging. Where like you're like Gremmel, your character's just perfect. It's done. It has everything it needs to go. You're like, this, I don't need to do anything with this fate point. Just throw it in the bag, like, and then you get an item later on that makes you immune to critical hits. And like that's that I don't care about. That's whatever. I think though it sucks when everyone else is trying to fix their character and you're with someone whose character is just fine. It's just there's nothing that needs to be fixed. So now I'm going to invest in myself in a variety of other ways. You know what I mean? So what I was thinking is that so if we get rid of that, we can make it so that you can now spend a fate point to re-roll the subclass ability on an item that you have.
Ooh,
with another subclass ability of that same class. end level. So, if you're like, yeah, Frenzy's nice as a barbarian, but man, I'd really like Bear Totem. You know what I mean? Like, let's roll for it. And then you re-roll, and then that Frenzy might become something else, but it's randomized, you know, much like everything is in this game. And you have to make that choice. So I think I think that could be a good option for that. Needless to say, I don't know what it is about Rime of the Frost Maiden that has made me go, we're gonna try a bunch of shit in this game, in this hardcore game, and see where it takes us.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about it. You know, I just honestly, I know what it is. I think it's the same feeling that honestly you expressed, where it's just like, if I don't homebrew 5e, it sucks. Correct. You know, and that's something that I think that's something that I've personally realized. You know, with 2024 coming out and me just not really giving a fuck, that I'm just like, am I just? It's just, is it that 5e is just no longer interesting to me? Like, am I bored with this? And it's like, no, because I do like building systems around it, and now classes. I'm loving building classes around it. That I'm just like, no, I think it's just at its core, like 5e is just kind of meh. And sort of what makes 5e special and what makes 5e a good system, which I hate to say that, is the fact that it's so easy to homebrew. Which is why it's incredibly frustrating that they don't include those tools to fucking let you homebrew.
That's right, yes.
So, I mean, it literally is just like the best part about 5e are the parts that are not 5e. It's the parts that you went, ooh, wouldn't it be cool if we have a fishing system? Or wouldn't it be cool if we have a gathering system or a crafting system, or I make a boss system, or I make a custom class or a subclass, or like, wouldn't that be like that? And again, you know, and I'll drop the thing I always rant about. That is why I'm the most frustrated about D&D 2024 and sometimes 5e is the fact that they have taken away the ability to create from the DM's toolkit and essentially are telling them just reskin shit. That's not what makes your game special. Reskinning monsters you already have is not what makes it special. It's the fact that I'm building something, you've taught me how to build it, and now that's mine. And because it's mine, I feel more attached to the system that I'm participating in because I can see myself in the system. If you take that away, which they have been doing, it no longer feels like your system. It feels like a system that you kind of have to like fucking jam and break shit in to make it work, you know, and it just don't like leave ego at the fucking door, dog. Just tell us how to build the shit. And people will continue to stay with the system that you want to be in because they feel like they actually have a part of it. Right now, D&D 2024 is frustrating to me because I feel like I'm a consumer of the product. I don't feel like I'm participating in it. Which, you know what I mean? So like when it comes to like, oh yeah, I'll take the spell updates, whatever. I'm not going to use any creatures from the monster manual. I barely did anyways. I'm barely going to touch their magic items. We'll take, yeah, sure, class updates. Oh, but not this or this because that just fucking sucks. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm already like at its core, I'm already changing shit around and going back to the stuff I liked in the 2014 version. But also in the 2014 version, I have all the tools necessary to build everything or reverse engineer everything so fucking far back that I can then build it anew. And you kind of see it and can do all these other things. So, but that's what I'm saying, that's kind of what makes like no one fucking cares about this update, because this update is essentially is either more of the same, but is it a patch note update? Is it 5.5? And then you look at it and you're like, oh, it's just like, yeah, some things have changed, but like the tools that I use that I need to create shit is no longer a part of it. So this isn't my edition. This is an edition you're trying to sell me. And to that I say, nah, I'm good. You know, like I'll take what I like, but I'm not going to use the system as is. Your crafting system is fucking stupid and dumb. Yep. And I I don't have any interest in bastions. Like is that optional system you added? I don't. Okay, cool. Bastions.
What I love, and I know the only reason they fucking did it. The only reason those motherfuckers added bastions is because they watched a third-party supplement come out with their own rules to make a fortress or a keep or what have you. And they went, fuck, that made a lot of money. And then they went, ooh, what if we add that ourselves?
Motherfucker, you did it in 3E. They had a stronghold builder's guide. It was actually a paperback book. It was thin. It was good. It was cheap.
Yeah. And then they went, nobody wants that anymore. And then they watched a third party company come out and make it and make money and went, fuck.
I want that money.
We want that. Give me that.
I want that, buddy. You know,
they made a system. They made a system agnostic book. You could throw that book on anything.
Well,
and they're like, fuck. Oh, give us a cut of that pie. And they went, no, dude, we made this. And they went, what the fuck? We'll make it ourselves.
Oh, it almost sounded like you were trying to like pitch like an SRDOGL conspiracy where like that's what pushed them to the edge.
That's all it did. That's all I can assure you. They have looked at third-party companies fucking making shitloads of money and have went, I kind of want that.
What's really weird about it is I think they essentially were able to successfully implement that with D&D Beyond with all the third-party content that's coming out. I mean, they're not just giving it to it for free. They're taking a piece of the pie, and saying, yeah, we're going to add your content here. You can get, whatever. I don't even know how you can go into a partnership with it. I'm sure there is, so they're selling the shit on D&D Beyond. So like it's, they essentially are doing what they wanted to do. They just went about it the wrong way, I guess. I don't fucking know.
They've just let avarice take over instead of logical thinking.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's going to come to a point where they're going to do one of two things after a few years if people stop buying their books, which I don't know if they will. I mean, they just announced that there's going to be a new artificer subclass, like a brand new one for when their Eberron book comes out. It's called the Cartographer.
Eberron, Omega lol.
It's called the Cartographer, I believe. It's there. So,
I'll say it. I dislike a lot of the pre-existing worlds that they use for TTRPGs. I mean, Eberron being one of them.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's good filler if you don't have the time to make your own worlds. Like I like playing in them just because I don't have to prep it. But yeah, you'll always like your home cooking over the fucking cafeteria slop.
You didn't have to prep Strahd at all.
I mean, it was a different kind of prep, but the maps all exist.
You didn't have to change anything for Curse
Okay, all right.
You didn't have to change anything.
All right, look, what I'm not saying no prep whatsoever. I'm just saying it's a lot less prep. It's now I'm looking for maps, not building them. So it's a lot less prep. Yes, the prep is still there. Yes, you're still making custom shit for it. But that's because that's fucking what we like to do. We like building the custom shit. That's why we're doing it, I'm always gonna do that. I'm always gonna have do the custom thing, you know what I mean? That's where
I mean, same. Like I've been like 2 months and then I immediately started homebrewing Pathfinder. So.
Yeah. Of course. And you love that. You really love that system. You're not homebrewing it because you need to. You're homebrewing it because you want to.
There was literally a part of me that was like, I want to make something.
Yes.
I started rubbing my little hands together and I was I need that.
I'm not homebrewing because I think the system needs fix. I mean, yeah, the system needs fixing, but that's not the reason why I do it. I'm not going, God damn it, let me go ahead and fix the leaky faucet. No, you're going, I'm going to build a badass toilet right now because I want to. I want to build a toilet, I want to build this shit. And that's why I homebrew. That's why I write the books, nice. Build the systems. This because I want to do it, not because I have to do it. I will say they released Helena's Monster Hunter book or whatever it is, because people were asking me like, is Fiendish Forge gonna be compatible with this book? I'm like, I don't know what this book is. And And now,
Well,
now
I
it's
have
on,
those books.
Yeah, now it's on D&D Beyond. And I went, okay. Now let me take a peek at their crafting system and their carving system. I looked at it, I was like, it's fine, you know. I'm not giving it a slight or saying it's a bad system. It's 5e. It just feels like a 5e system, and I feel like Fiendish Forge is taking it in a different direction, you know. And I'm glad that we did that, you know. I'm glad that we've taken Fiendish Forge in this like newer direction. I don't understand the need for crafting DCs. Like I get why instinctively you do it, but I feel like it doesn't really add anything to the story. Does that make sense? Because it's like...
So the only reason I really see crafting DCs existing as any sort of number is purely because people who build for that type of character want to feel useful.
Yeah.
Like when I play Marius, when the rolls were there, I enjoyed knowing that in the back of my mind, I built this character to do that thing.
Yeah.
So I like, oh, it's a DC 25, and the rest of the party gawks and they go, holy fuck, 25. And I go, guys, I have a plus 15 to this roll with advantage.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
And the party goes, oh my God.
So that's like, I understand that feeling, which is why, you know, the first time we worked on it, it was sort of like you make it, or you make it so effectively you got all these bonuses, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of where that was in, but it got too complicated for like a 5e audience member, you know, like a standard 5e audience member. So but in a standard crafting DC, you're like, you succeed, you build the item, you're like, yes, I did it. But then if you fail, it's the failure outcome that makes it so that I don't understand the point of this. Because like, so what happens if you fail? Do you make it so that you waste materials? Well, then that person is literally going to be like, I'm just going to buy this shit. I'm not going to try and make it anymore because, you know, it's just not cost effective. Or nothing happens. You wasted a day. And that doesn't really feel like a good outcome either, because now it's just like, I either succeed or I wasted my time, you know, like that's why I've always had an issue with crafting DCs. I understand why they're there. It just isn't achieving an outcome that I would find desirable for a player. You know what I mean? It's not evoking a certain feeling. You know, it's like you bake the DC, it feels good, but then you don't make the DC and then nothing happens. You're just like, I guess I try again tomorrow, shrug, and then because eventually you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna get it eventually. It's just now at that point a matter of time. And so if it's a matter of time, why even have a DC to begin with? So I think crafting systems are good for like more grimdark, where the players don't mind, you know what I mean, like losing some shit. Like they understand that's the scenario they signed up for. I think that is where crafting DCs really shine. Or crafting DCs that essentially are like, I think it'd be really cool if a crafting DC, if an item had multiple properties, and you had to, there was a minimum DC, and then there was a maximum DC, and it'd be degrees of success.
Nice.
And depending on what degree of success you got to the maximum DC, certain properties of the item would be a part of the item. So let's say like a helmet had like 3 properties on it, right? So and the DC is 10 to 20. If you get it like an 11, you only get the first prop. You build the item, but only with the first property.
I like that.
If you get a 17, then you build it with the second property. And then if you build the 20, you get all the properties.
Dude, that's sick, because so here's my thing.
Yeah.
When I make systems like that, I always have the caveat or the cop out that there's an NPC in the town who you can pay who will make the item for you. So if you have a party and nobody built crafters, there's a fucking blacksmith in town. There's a leather worker in town. Somebody in town is trained enough to be recognized by the town to have a business that you can go to that guy and pay that guy to make your item.
Okay. But here's the thing, right? This is literally something I just came up with, by the way, that I was just like, I had the eureka moment, right? The varying DCs of crafting, where it just unlocks more properties of the item. You know, like every item now has a certain level of mastery when you craft it. So like, yeah, there's gonna have your basic items that this is like, you know, save or suck and whatever. But then there's gonna be items that are like the fucking, you know, Flameberg or whatever. That's just like, okay, did you get one property? Okay, it's a +1 weapon that can change, you know, its damage type to fire. Oh, did you get the next DC up? Oh, now it deals bonus fire damage. You know, did you get the 3 degree up? Now it can launch a fireball. You know what I mean? Like, it just is able to, like, it provides buffs. It does all this sort of shit. Or what's cool is like the mastery property of it could literally be, while wielding this, you have access to this feat. You know what I mean? Where it's just, it's such a fucking good.
You get the slasher feat or something like that.
Yeah, you get the slasher effect. So literally,
I wave my credit card at you. So make it happen is what I'm saying.
But
make it happen.
But here's the thing about your blacksmith idea then, right? Or not the idea, but I mean, that's something we've always conceptualized. You can now, in a system like this, find blacksmiths of certain ranks.
Nice. Yep.
So if you have an apprentice blacksmith, and no checks whatsoever. If you have an apprentice blacksmith craft the Flameberg for you, he goes, yep, I can do this. If you want to bring me the materials, which will be half the cost, I can do this for I can do this for 200 gold pieces. You go, okay. Because he's an apprentice, he can only guarantee craft things of a DC 10.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to go to the journeyman. The journeyman goes, yep, I can do that. Give me the materials. But they're going to charge you 400 gold pieces for their time because their skill, it makes it so. So now they can craft items up to a DC 15, meaning they build the Flameberg with 2 properties. And then you go to the fucking master blacksmith.
Yes, sir.
And he's like, I'll do it. Just give me the materials. And I need this for like 800 gold pieces or 1,000 gold pieces.
This was also great is that you find the master blacksmith and he's like, I'll make this for you. But guess what, shitheads? You got to go do a quest for me.
Yeah, there's that. But also what's really cool is you have to find a master blacksmith. It ain't gonna be in the bumfuck town that you're in right now. You're gonna actually have to go
to the city.
Yeah. Or to the mount, or do an investigation check and be like, well, I heard there is Grummus, the master blacksmith. He lives on top of Mount Rocknard, which, by the way, is guarded by a legendary rock that seems to have only welcomed him in his presence because this thing has respect for him. And then you gotta go fight a fucking rock to then climb up to the master blacksmith, and then he's still gonna want you to do some shit for him before he makes the.
Hey, asshole, you killed the rock that was guarding me.
Yeah.
You need to go get me this rune from the Dwarven fortress that was destroyed 100 years ago. And if you do that, I'll cut the price in half.
Fuck. I love crafting stories. God damn. That's good.
And what's crazy is that all this stuff, this is all old shit. Like, these are TSR adventures. Like,
oh yeah. Have you ever thought about looking into a TSR, like the TSR system?
Brother, I'm not.
No, you're not.
The system itself, but I'm running a TSR adventure for SOT. I'm running the village of Hamlet in the Temple of Elemental Evil.
Oh yeah. What I'm saying is, have you thought not the setting or the campaign? I'm talking about the system.
Or like the old school, like Thaco and all that shit.
No. I mean, it's a fucking not TSR. What's the There's like another branch which essentially is like the renaissance of that. That has come back, and I totally forget the
new
OSR.
Like, that one. Yeah.
OSR? Is it OSR?
I haven't looked into OSR at all.
Yeah, that's what it is. It OSR goes back to the old days of
Nice.
like systems of the 80s. Right? So like if you want crunch, old school Renaissance is what it's called. Yeah, if you want something like that, like that is like the old days of shit. And it is an old school Renaissance, because people, when 5e came out, people were like, this is just not my system, because I'm 50 years old and I've been mad since second edition quit, so we're going back to 3 again, fuck. So yeah, the OSR came out, and where people were starting to like kind of go back to that, and doing all that shit. So there is like a good following of that as well, of the OSR, which is pretty pretty freaking sick, if you ask me. So, but yeah, that's a good crafting system. I'm gonna steal that for myself, I guess, because that literally just manifested in my brain. That might be what we do in phase 4. Is that how I want to do? Yeah, because I definitely wanted to actually, before phase 4, rework the magic item pricing system to something custom, but also work the rework CR into a level system, much like what 4E does, which is, I just really like to do that.
Give me for phase 4.
Yes.
Because you don't have a choice. I'm going to be there regardless.
Oh, no, yeah.
Give me old school adventures.
Yeah, you're literally like, I'm going to be there, even if like, you like later on, like we get really pissed off each other. I'm just going to fucking
I'm gonna be there. You won't have a choice.
Yeah.
So here's my thing.
Yeah.
You want to get real for a second. Guess what, motherfucker? The only way you're getting rid of me is if you tell me bye-bye. Like,
I would
won't
do that.
leave, shithead. The only way I'm leaving is if you tell me you gotta go.
I thought you were about to tell me the only way I'm gonna leave is if you fucking kill me and then hide me my body somewhere and then forget about it, until 10 years later, and you go, holy shit, I think I killed
wake
crap.
up. I know where the body's buried. And Maze's like, what's the matter?
I'm like, oh, nothing. That reminds me, I did have a dream one time. I was playing like a lot of like raiding in like WoW and stuff. And apparently one night with my previous partner, I was apparently saying in my sleep, loot the bodies, loot the bodies.
Oh my God, are you doing raid calls in the middle of your sleep?
No, I didn't do any other raid call. I specifically was asking for people to loot the fucking bodies. Loot the bodies. Like,
loot the bodies.
I need my shit. Loot it. Yeah, apparently I was...
Skin it. Skin the bodies. We need the leather.
Apparently I said at one point, loot the bodies. It's just insane. Holy shit.
Amazing.
Well, that's a cast. That's an overtime cast. We were talking for a bit there.
Oh shit.
We got some good topics. We talked hardcore. We talked we didn't get to viewer topics. So yes, chat, just so you all are aware, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/dumpster delvers. If you join, you'll get MP3s of our cast, no music in the background, and these ad reads cut out. And if we ever get sponsored one day, we won't include those in the Patreon cuts of that. Yeah. So, but we would have absolutely included well, I don't know. I say that, but at the same time, like, there may be an ad read where I was like, yeah, that is just so fucking lucrative that I'm like, maybe we will read it. I don't know. Well, that's...
Yeah, we might get hit with the deal where it's like, you gotta read it
on air. On Patreon, yeah. Well, I mean, like, so, like, if we ever put this on, like, Spotify and shit like that, that's gonna be ad written. But I'm like, if we're doing Patreon, you know what I mean? I don't think
they'd care for, like, the Patreon
that's what I'm saying,
cuts.
like, because if there's a paywall, then perhaps... Yeah, but I don't know. Anyways, that's it. What I'm saying. As of right now, it's ad free. It's an ad free audio. We don't even include this ad. Currently, we're trying to get 20 members on the $20 tier. And if we do, was it 20 members in the? No, I think 20 members in the 10 up tier. And I noticed a lot of you moved up to the $10 tier after I gave the challenge. Because the challenge is if we get to 20, we're gonna get this bear a webcam, and during the post show, I will eat a habanero pepper live in front of everyone, and just maximize live in front of Crown. And then we'll release it on the Patreon.
Live in front of Crown.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'll release that on the Patreon.
Oh my God, I say, pointing at you.
Oh, he's there. But also, our $10 tiers where we do the post show, which we are actually going to be doing right after we wrap up this cast. And then we'll do a D&D horror story there because there were some good ones this week. So I'll tell you one during the post show, I think. So if you guys want to check it out and listen to that, please join the Patreon. Helps us out a ton. And I really do appreciate everyone who has supported thus far. All of our VODs are uploaded to youtube.com/@dumpsterdelvers. If you could do me a favor, if you haven't subscribed yet and you liked what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers and eventually up to 1,000 subscribers so that we can activate monetization, which will also help the channel a lot. So please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I know there are people out there, myself included, that don't subscribe to channels and just go, yeah, well, the YouTube will still recommend it to me, or I will just find it. You know, if I'm looking for like a series, I'll just look it up on my own. I forget to hit subscription all the time. But for us, your subscription really counts because it gets us access to YouTube features like, I don't know, getting paid or ads, you know, like ad pay and all that shit. So it's very important that you do subscribe and watch and all that stuff. And our next one will allow memberships on the channel, which I think will also help us out a ton. So again,
oh yeah,
go ahead and check that all out. But for now, I would like to Crown, thank you so much for another cast.
Brother, I always have a good time.
I say, man, it's always been an absolute delight. And yeah, we're gonna head out now. We're gonna stop the stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Okay.
Catch you guys around.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.